faithful to see Chuck Knox's Buffalo Bills in a rematch of their playoff battle against the Chargers, the Eastern Division. Knox's Bills a half game behind Miami, but the Dolphins have won and are now 9-4, and the Jets are playing currently at Seattle. Meanwhile, Don Coryell on the San Diego Chargers sidelines.
Coryell, one of the most intense coaches in the NFL. Certainly pleased to see his team at 8-5, but they have a crucial edge over both of their co-leaders in that division. They lead head-to-head in the race with Kansas City, and they lead in divisional record against the Denver Broncos, so they are currently in first place.
And both Denver and Kansas City, one of those teams probably will lose. They meet currently at Mile High Stadium. We'll be in touch with scoring reports throughout our game. Rolf Brynerska kicks it off to the blue-clad Buffalo Bills. Riddick, the rookie, at the 5. And he is wrestled down at the 21-yard line. The Bills bring it on their offensive unit with Joe Ferguson, the quarterback. Number 12, and Ferguson a healthy quarterback today. Big Roosevelt Leaks at one running back, and Joe Cribbs back from the injured list at the other running spot. Jerry Butler and Frank Lewis, two speed burners on the outside. Tight end Mark Bramer. The offensive line, Ken Jones, John Borkart, Will Grant, Conrad Dobler. Starting at right guard, Joe Devlin at right tackle.
That decision to start Dobler might indicate a tendency to pass early by the Buffalo Bills.
From the Bills' 21-yard line, Leaks for 6 yards as he's out to the 27-yard line before Lyndon King from Colorado State and Alabama's Woody Lowe can make the tackle. The Charger defense, and much maligned, especially earlier this year. Woodcock playing the spot vacated when Fred Dean went to San Francisco. Big Hands Johnson, Louis Kelcher, and Leroy Jones completes the front four. The middle linebacker Bob Horn, flanked by Woody Lowe and Lyndon King. Defensive backs Allen Ellis starting for Mike Williams. Veteran Willie Buchanan with Edwards and Shaw at safety. Second down 4. The toss to Cribbs. And he's met by Pete Shaw, short of the first down. Shaw from Northwestern coming up from his safety spot.
Cribbs not showing the kind of explosive running ability that we have seen from him, Dick. He's coming back off a rib injury, and you'll see that he looks bulky around the midriff, wearing a flak jacket to try and protect those ribs, but he was wearing the flak jacket when he broke the ribs.
It has been a season for the fractured ribs, and of course Dan Fouts apparently having that same injury, and he'll be watched closely. It's third down and 3 at the 28. Ferguson's first throw. Incomplete, broken up by Buchanan, intended for Jerry Butler. And the Charger fans cheer the defense.
Although the Charger defense ranks currently 27th in the league, they have played better in the last 2 weeks. They've come on with some pressure on the quarterback, 11 sacks in the past 2 weeks. Jack Pardee feels that maybe they're finally getting together after a very frustrating season.
Greg Cater, his numbers on the year, hitting a 41-yard average. Rookie James Brooks at the 29 of San Diego. Cater, a high but a very short kick. And it takes a San Diego bounce, and Rod Cush is able to down it at the Buffalo 47-yard line. A 20-yard punt, no return by Greg Cater, and the Chargers get the first break of the game. Here comes the Charger offense. Dan Fouts, who needs only 114 yards for 4,000 this year. James Brooks and Chuck Muncie, he's just a handful of yards away from the 1,000-yard mark. Needs 2 touchdowns today to set an all-time NFL rushing touchdown record. Joyner, Chandler, Winslow, the receivers, Shields, Wilkerson, Masick, White, and Washington on the front line. From the 47 of Buffalo, Fouts to throw. Deflected and almost intercepted. It was intended for Joyner.
Number 77, Big Ben Williams, the man that got his hands up in front of that one. Fouts wasting no time going to the air. Let's go through that defensive lineup, Dick.
All right, Merlin. Williams, Smerlis, the big nose tackle, and Sherman White up front. Sanford, Haslett, veteran Villapiano, and Isaiah Robertson, the linebackers. Mario Clark and Charles Romes at the corners, and Freeman and Simpson at safety. And as you pointed out, Merlin Olsen, earlier, at times Chuck Knox will go with a 4-man line and 7 defensive backs. Well, we have some upsets today in the National Football League involving teams fighting for a playoff, and we'll update all the scores for you in just a moment. Fouts 2nd and 10. Complete. Joyner, and it's close to a first down at the 36-yard line. It appears he has the first down. Rome's the defender for Buffalo.
Charlie Joyner, one of the great control receivers in the NFL. Runs precise patterns, and the man puts the ball on the target as Fouts. He throws to the point. And you notice with a defender immediately behind Joyner, that ball is thrown down at the ground. Had that ball been missed, it would have gone through the ground. No chance for the interception there.
They'll bring on the chain gang for the measure. 10 yards plus or minus. At the 37 of Buffalo, it appears to be a little short. So it'll be 3rd down and inches. I stuck in some finals for you. As you see today's officials, Miami 24, New England 14. San Francisco beat Cincinnati 21-3, a big win for the 49ers. An upset. Washington 15, the Eagles 13. The Giants have defeated the Rams 10-7. St. Louis bombed New Orleans 30-3. Upset. Bears 10, Minnesota 9. Green Bay was beating Detroit at last report. That would move Green Bay right back into the Central Division picture. And, of course, Tampa Bay is there as well. And Green Bay leading the Lions 31-17 late. As Muncie has a first down and out of bounds at the Buffalo 22.
Big Chuck Muncie. What a load he is when he gets to the outside. Tremendous power and great speed for the big back. Now watch him take the ball and just fly to the outside. He is deceptively fast and a great sliding move. Just ducked outside of a couple of defenders, and it takes a whole passel of them. Watch the quick move Muncie makes. He'll look like he's going inside and then just skips to the outside. Great explosion, great run.
Fouts back to live action, and it's incomplete to Muncie. A little screen in the left flat that was well read by Isaiah Robertson. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 22 of Buffalo. The temperature today is 70 degrees. No breeze to be concerned with, but the San Diego area, the west coast of Southern California, has been hit with very heavy fog in the early evenings of late. We were lucky to make it in from South Bend, and apparently a high school game here last night in the second half. They had to have someone on the field to call up to the radio booth to tell them what was happening because you could not see the field from our location. It was that foggy. From the 22, it's Brooks. And he's ridden out at the 20 after a short game by Phil Filipiano, the veteran from Bowling Green, wearing number 41.
Reports are, Dick, that it's snowing or has been snowing in Buffalo. I'm sure both teams glad that this game is here in sunny Southern California. The Buffalo Bills enjoy playing in this stadium. They enjoy playing on natural turf. They enjoy the warmth. They're getting a chance to stretch their muscles for the first time in quite a while. And they have played well in this stadium in the last couple of seasons.
As we indicated at the start, even with an injured quarterback Joe Ferguson, they came within 2 minutes of beating the Chargers in the playoffs here last year. 4 wide receivers in for Fouts. It's Joyner and a first down at the 10-yard line. Joyner got up just in case. Bill Simpson had contact. A 10-yard throw, and the Chargers are at 1st and goal.
You simply cannot give Dan Fouts time to throw the football. He'll do this to you every time. Joyner, not the first choice. I think probably the 2nd or 3rd choice on this pass. Fouts again throwing the ball low, and someone watching at home might say that was a bad pass, was it? No, that was not a bad pass. Fouts throwing low because the defenders were right behind his receiver, and he wanted the ball in an area where it could not be intercepted if Joyner happened to miss it.
1st and goal with almost the full 10 yards to go. Only Muncie behind Fouts. It's Muncie for a touchdown! Chuck Muncie has just tied Hall of Famer Jimmy Taylor and Earl Campbell his 19th rushing touchdown this year, tying the NFL record.
If Fouts can keep his running game going, he takes tremendous pressure off his offensive line and off himself.
Benershka out of Luther's hold for the extra point. And the Chargers on their first possession get 7. Timeout. We played 3.5 minutes of the first quarter, and the San Diego Chargers on Chuck Muncy's touchdown lead it 7-0.
Up in Seattle, the Seahawks have moved ahead of the Jets. Young Dave Craig subbing for Jim Zorn. A 7-yard touchdown pass to Sam McCullum. Point after was missed. Seattle leads the Jets 6-0. Let's go back to San Diego and Dick Enberg.
7-0. The San Diego Chargers take the early lead against the Buffalo Bills. Benershka to kick it off. Or as soon as he kicks it, he'll head to the sidelines, and it's basically a 10-man defense for the Chargers. It's Riddick again, a very short kick at the 15. And he gets to the 27-yard line, and that is all. Rob Riddick from Millersville State, Pennsylvania.
Let's go back and take a quick look at Muncy. He's going to break to the outside behind a great block by Kellen Winslow, number 80, and behind the blocking of number 63, Doug Wilkerson. But it's Muncy's tremendous speed and his ability to break an arm tackle that allowed him to spring loose. Let's look a little more closely at that great block on Isaiah Robertson. Robertson, the contained man, just simply does not get to the outside, trips over one of his own players who'd been knocked down, opened the way for Muncy to go in for the touchdown.
Chuck Muncy, a 9-yard run. There are the totals, 46 yards and 7 plays after Cater's short kick. Ferguson going long. Butler watches it bounce out of bounds as he was well covered. Alan Ellis, number 48, on the coverage.
Number 79, Gary Big Hands Johnson, pressuring Joe Ferguson. As you look at his stats on this season, Ferguson has had a good year, but has had a couple of pretty sour games. Last week a clunker for him, and had it not been for some great defensive play by this Buffalo Bill defense, they would not have been able to overcome the Washington Redskins. But Ferguson is one of the strongest quarterbacks in the NFL. Watching him in practice yesterday, Dick, amazing the strength he has and the velocity he has on the football. He needs some of that. He needs to get it going here for his Buffalo offense.
Former Arkansas star from his 27, 2nd and 10. Big hole for Joe Cribbs, and he blasts out to the 35-yard line before Jim Laszlovic and Pete Shaw can collaborate on the tackle. An 8-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 2.
A much different run than we saw when Cribbs handled the ball the first time. He was very tentative. Watch the explosion here. This is the kind of quickness, a little misdirection there as he ducks in behind number 48, Roosevelt Leaks. Cribbs not showing the effects of that rib injury as he goes head-to-head with the Charger defense.
At the 35 of Buffalo. Leaks. He doesn't make it. John Woodcock, number 90. Louis Kelcher, 74. Gary Johnson, 79. They were all there to meet Leaks. Short of the first down. 4th and 1. And again, the Chargers love their defense.
Big Louis Kelcher. San Diego's rushing defense has not been as poor during this season as their passing defense. Actually, they rank 8th in the NFL against the rush, but last in the NFL against the pass.
Brooks back at the 23 as Cater. Again, a short kick. And it takes a Buffalo bounce, but out of bounds at the 26 of the Chargers. So San Diego has the ball for the second time. 9 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Chargers lead the Bills 7-0. Here in San Diego, 7-0. Chargers lead. They have the ball at the 26-yard line. And Ometiview in the Madison, Wisconsin area. We're expecting to see the Jets in Seattle. Right after this play, we'll explain that we're working that out for you. James Brooks, the Chargers, nothing there. Dave Craig, of course, the youngster from Milton College near Madison, and many fans there. We had an excellent pregame piece on NFL 81. Has already thrown a touchdown pass in the first quarter, and Seattle leads the Jets 6-0. They missed the extra point. We've had some problems, but Midwestern Relay System says that at 4:30, that'll be about 10 minutes or so from now, they'll be able to make the proper switches, and you will get there in the Madison, Wisconsin area, your young hero, Damon Runyon's story there, Dave Craig against the New York Jets. And we ask you to be patient. Hope you enjoy this Charger-Buffalo game for the next 10 minutes. On 2nd and 9, Fouts in traffic, dumps it off to Brooks, and Steve Freeman hits him immediately at the 28-yard line. Freeman from Mississippi State, the free safety.
George Smerlas, number 76, over to help put Brooks away. Brooks, by the way, is a tremendous addition for the San Diego Chargers, Dick. Not only with his running ability, he's averaging over 5 yards a carry, but he's also a fine blocker and an excellent pass receiver, and surprisingly strong for a relatively light back. He really puts some hurt on people in that defensive secondary.
Brooks is only 55 yards short of gaining a mile this year, all-purpose yards, passing, receiving, returning kicks. Fouts, a quickie. Oh, almost intercepted. It would have been a touchdown for number 28, Rufus Bess. Oh, my.
Dwight Scales, number 87, the attended receiver, and Rufus Bess in with a whole host of defensive backs. Read that pass perfectly. Fouts throwing it on target. Watch the little move right at the end. Bess stepped right in front of Scales and just had an opportunity to go right through his fingers for 7 points. That had touchdown written all over it.
In fairness to Bess, it appears that Scales might have gotten a piece of it to knock it away. So George Roberts, kicking for the first time, will deliver to Roland Hooks and Riddick, who stand at the Buffalo 30. Line of scrimmage is the San Diego 28.
We're looking at the only left-footed kicker in the NFL, Dick. And you might say, what's interesting about that? Well, one thing, it creates havoc for the receivers at the other end, marching off a penalty against the San Diego Chargers. The reason for that is when the ball is kicked with the left foot, it rotates in the opposite direction, tends to tail off in the opposite direction. And receivers who are used to catching a football off the right foot have a tendency sometimes to misjudge the football.
Kind of like hitting against a right-handed pitcher all year, and then finally only you face a left-hander and everything just is turned around. In this case, after the 5-yard delay of game penalty, Roberts, oh, he scuffs one. And it goes right into the San Diego Charger bench. It will be marked near midfield at the 49 of Buffalo. So each kicker having his difficulties. 28 yards on that one. Buffalo has the ball, trailing by 7.
High Stadium in Denver, the Broncos have gone ahead of the Chiefs. The score set up by this play. Craig Morton airing it out to Steve Watson. He gets down to the 5. The play covers 86 yards. Rob Lytle takes the final 2 for the touchdown. It's 7-0 in Denver. Let's go back to the sunshine and Dick and Merle.
And sunny it is, Brian Gumbel. Denver takes the early lead, and of course Denver, Kansas City, San Diego all tied at 8-5.
Both teams here, of course, watching divisional opponents. San Diego Chargers very anxious about that game, knowing that one of those ties is going to be broken today with a loss by either Denver or Kansas City.
Short kick, and Buffalo takes over at its 49-yard line. Joe Ferguson looking for his first completion, going long for Butler. And it's incomplete. Butler with a little shove on number 28, Willie Buchanan. No flag because Buchanan could not catch the ball. The rule is no different whether it's the potential pass interceptor or the receiver. If there's no chance to catch the ball, even though there was contact, that's a good no call.
Buchanan having a little chat with the official. Not a good pass, and certainly Buffalo's offense not on track here in the early going. This is their first break of the game. The San Diego Chargers took advantage of starting inside of Buffalo territory on a very bad punt to get their 7 points. Let's see if maybe Buffalo can't take advantage of this early opportunity for themselves.
Frank Lewis, top of your picture. Split right is Butler. That's Cribbs on a wing right. 2nd and 10, Ferguson. Eludes the rush. And as a man, Butler, great catch. Leslie in control. No, at the 20-yard line.
Dick, I talked about the strength of number 12, Joe Ferguson, earlier. Now watch this, the kind of strength it takes to get out of the grasp of the defenders here. They've got good pressure on him. He alertly sees a little room up front, steps over. They get a hand on him there. He simply pulls away and then stops and fires a perfect strike. Powerful pass, great arm action, and it looked like a reception. The ball bounced out at the end. We're watching a great battle between Conrad Dobler and Louis Kelcher. We'll talk more about that. Dobler using everything, including his feet, to try and keep Kelcher off his quarterback.
3rd down and 10, and the Bills offense has been stymied thus far. 3rd possession, looking for the first down out of the shotgun. Ferguson to Butler, and incomplete. Apparently Butler had gone out of bounds, and in coming back inbounds was not an eligible receiver.
Anytime the receiver steps on the line or out of bounds, the hat will come off the officials on the sideline. There's no penalty for that. It's just that he simply cannot come back in and catch the pass after he has touched the sideline or stepped out of bounds.
Joe Ferguson has not been very happy, and he hasn't, or nor has his offense, done much to bring a smile to anyone on the Buffalo side.
I think perhaps the most unhappy man on that sideline might be Chuck Knox.
After a 19 and a 38-yard punt, Cater hits this one nicely, and Brooks has the fair catch at the 9-yard line. Now the San Diego Chargers, no return of a 42-yard kick. Timeout. 7:54 left, first quarter. San Diego has the ball at the 10-yard line. Midway through the first quarter, the Chargers in front 7-0 on a 9-yard Chuck Muncie run that tied an NFL rushing touchdown record. 19 touchdowns this year for Muncie. And this is Muncie with the ball. And the play that went for the touchdown is stopped for little or no gain. Maybe a yard before Jim Haslett from Indiana, Pennsylvania. And Isaiah Robertson of Southern University can make the tackle.
Isaiah Robertson, number 58, getting outside of the block of number 80, Kellen Winslow, to force that play back inside. And that's what you have to do to contain that single-man sweep. Muncie's strong enough to run that play without blocking. They're counting on him being able to break arm tackles and simply run over the top of people, Dick.
Muncie from California. Fouts with all day to find his tight end, Kellen Winslow, and a first down at the 22-yard line. 11 yards on the throw. Robertson with the tackle. Winslow, earlier this year against Oakland, had 5 touchdown receptions in one game.
4 of those touchdowns in just over 9 minutes during the game. Amazing. But again, we talk about the difficulties you're going to encounter if you give Dan Fouts time to throw the football. Winslow certainly is his favorite target in the past few weeks, and Winslow can catch that football.
Muncie, not much there. He's swarmed by the blue jerseyed Bills. Robertson and Haslett, the linebackers. Also into the play was Lucius Sanford and Jim Haslett. So all 4 backers had a piece of that action. Dan Fouts hitting 58% of his passes this year, already with 29 touchdowns and only 14 interceptions, sacked but 17 times. And he needed today 114 yards for the second straight 4,000-yard passing season. No one has ever done that back-to-back. Wes Chandler with Joyner in motion, and then they flip to Muncie. Great throw by Fouts, and Muncie dropped short of the 30-yard line. That won't be enough for a first down. Sanford made the tackle. What a throw by Fouts. He led Muncie just right so that he was going full speed upfield.
That looks like such a simple pass, and yet I think it's one of the most difficult passes to throw in the game of football. Fouts threw it so that Muncie did not ever have to break stride. Took it in full stride, took it right in front of that shoulder, and able then to in effect take a long handoff from his quarterback, get outside of the linebacker. A couple of other linebackers out there to greet him, but not until he gained some fine yardage.
7 yards in the play. It's 3rd and 2 at the 29. Uh-oh. Flags are down. Muncie stopped at the 31. Would be very close to a first down if there was no flag, but apparently that flag will be against the Buffalo Bills. And now, so that you fans in the Madison, Wisconsin area can watch your own Dave Craig of Milton College, we switched that portion of our network to the Seattle, New York Jets game. Five yards against the Buffalo Bills. First down, San Diego at the 34. And apparently it was a defensive back that was offside.
No, 2 defensive linemen, or 2 defensive linemen on the left side offside. And they do move their backs up in very close, Dick. And very often you'll see defensive backs right up on the line of scrimmage for the Buffalo Bills. Some very unusual sets as they employ their 6 and 7 defensive backs.
That statistic, 5 first downs to none. The domination of the Chargers in this first quarter. They lead 7-0. A long one. Out of bounds for Wes Chandler, acquired from the New Orleans Saints to fill the void when John Jefferson went to Green Bay. Back on the coverage, 45, Bill Simpson, one of your former teammates with the Los Angeles Rams.
What a wonderful story. Last year in the 5th game of the season, Bill Simpson came down from Los Angeles to watch the Buffalo Bills. He had some friends who were playing in the game, sat in the stands. 2 of the safeties, Cush and Nixon, were hurt in that game. He went out after the game to talk to Chuck Knox. Chuck said, go pack your bags and come to Buffalo. And Simpson went to Buffalo. The next week he was starting. He's been starting ever since. This year named the most valuable defensive back by the Buffalo Bills. Quite a story.
For a man who was too injured to play, had 4 interceptions last year. He has 4 more this year.
Whoa.
Joyner at the 45-yard line. Freeman with a tackle. San Diego first down. Third catch for Joyner, 22 yards on that play.
In preparation for this game, the Buffalo Bills watched the Cincinnati Bengals work on Fouts and the Chargers, and they said they wanted to attack him, wanted to get after him. They certainly have not been able to do it. And Fouts has had time to get back, to look at his receivers, and to get them the football. I don't think there's a quarterback in football reads coverage and reads the open field better than Dan Fouts.
And Charlie Joyner, you get it near him, and you've got yourself a reception. Too long and intercepted. Mario Clark at the 30, 40.
Look out.
He's at the 45, the 40. And finally corralled at the San Diego 25-yard line by Fouts, the quarterback. Clark's 4th interception of the year, and a big turnaround for the Bills. A 53-yard return for Clark.
Very uncharacteristic mistake for Fouts. That ball looked like it took off on him. Sailed over the head of the intended receiver. And Clark, had he really decided to run this football, looked like he had open room up the sideline. Looks like he wants to tiptoe here, Dick. He may hear about that from his defensive coordinator.
And Fouts himself, as you see him throw, able to hustle over and at least prevent the interception touchdown.
Tried to put some body English on that one.
At the 25-yard line. Leaks and Krebs behind Ferguson. Krebs. A couple at best. 2 yards before Bob Horn, the middle backer from Oregon State, can make the tackle. Let's run down all the scores for you. The finals. Miami stays at least in a tie for first with a victory against New England, 24-14. San Francisco showing its mettle. Oh, they come on. Bill Walsh's team beating a fine Cincinnati team in Cincinnati, 21-3. It was Philadelphia losing its 3rd in a row. The Redskins, a 15-13 upset. And the Rams lose again. The Giants at home with a 10-7 come from behind win. We'll have more in a moment. 2nd down and 8 at the 23 of San Diego. Play action. Butler. Incomplete as the Chargers had 2 men on the speedster from Clemson. Both Ellis and Edwards in the coverage. The rest of the scores today in the National Football League, the final scores.
Joe Ferguson shaking his head, apparently unhappy with the pattern run by Butler. The communications appear to be breaking down a little bit on the passing game for Buffalo. A couple of extra receivers, Ron Jesse in. They've put 3 wide receivers in. Bramer, the tight end, goes out along with Krebs, the running back. Let's see if they can't pick up this first down. They failed to capitalize on their first opportunity. That bad punt by Roberts. Now they've got a great field position. Let's see if they can do something with it.
Out of the shotgun. Chargers counter with an extra defensive back. He needs 8 for a first down, and he's got it. First down at the 10-yard line. A perfect strike to Jerry Butler. And for the Bills, that is just their first first down of this game, and it comes with 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Very tough assignment for number 48, Allen Ellis, working one-on-one on a very quick receiver. And if that ball is thrown properly, almost impossible to defend against that one-on-one. Butler, one of the outstanding receivers in the NFL, certainly showing his skills on that particular play.
12 yards on the throw. First down at the San Diego 11. Buffalo trailing the Chargers 7-0. Roosevelt leaks. And he blasts close to the goal line. He's down to the 2 and near another first down. Leaks with 9 yards before King can make the tackle. And the big guy from Texas showing some agility and power.
One of the reclamation projects that Chuck Knox is proud of. Watch the adjustment he makes. No hole outside. He cuts back against the grain inside and literally makes that yardage by knowing where the open territory was. I think very often great backs who can make that kind of move have to do it with their eyes as much as their bodies.
2nd and 2 at the 3-yard line. Ferguson rolling. He's going to take it in himself. Touchdown. Joe Ferguson. King tackled him, but too late. And the Bills are on the board. Mario Clark's interception and return of 53 yards, setting up Ferguson's rollout score.
On Jesse, number 81 coming in motion, turns back the other way. Looks like an option pass or run. Ferguson sees he has a chance to get to the outside. Legs it into the end zone. Lyndon King, 57, tackling him a full 3 or 4 yards out of bounds. I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see a flag on that play. Look how far out of bounds Ferguson is when he takes the tackle here from Lyndon King.
Ferguson's first touchdown score of this year, and Nick Mickemeyer adds the extra point, and the game is even. 1 minute, 54 seconds left in the first quarter here at Jack Murphy San Diego Stadium. The Bills and Chargers are even at 7. The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League, and nicely done by linebacker Jim Haslett of the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have tied the game at 7, less than 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Mickemeyer to kick off, and Brooks is the deep man for the San Diego Chargers. Comes to Shaw at the 8. 15. And he gets to the 17-yard line. Little late action, but no flag. Rod Cush, 42, is there, along with Humiston, a linebacker.
That was a play designed to start up the left side and reverse around the right side, Dick. But very alert play by 42 Frank Cush, and some of the other members of that coverage squad were able to keep the play from getting outside. Brooks started up the left side, and then he was going to cut it back, simply unable to do so because Cush got inside of him, or actually Pete Shaw, number 44, the man who ended up with the football, wanting to get back around to the right side.
Rod Cush, no relation to Frank Cush, the coach. Fouts completes it to Winslow, and he's at the 31-yard line, and a flag is down back where Ben Williams hit Dan Fouts.
Williams, I think, a little bit, no.
Holding against San Diego.
I'm going to say a little bit late getting there, but they apparently detected someone hanging onto his jerseys. He came around the outside. That would be big Russ Washington, number 70, who is back in the lineup after having some knee problems over the past few weeks. He might be having some mobility problems against a very active Ben Williams.
Holding, number 70.
Number 70 is Russ Washington. Ducking those other finals for you. The Bears upset Minnesota 10-9. Green Bay over Detroit 31-17. In progress, Dallas leading Baltimore 27-13 in the fourth quarter. Seattle 6-0 over the Jets in the first quarter on a Dave Craig to Sam McCullum throw. So the Chargers from inside their 9-yard line, and Fouts drills it to Joyner at the 29 and a first down. 4 catches for Joyner already. That one good for 20 yards.
Buffalo Bills counting on a 3-man rush. They're dropping 8 men back, and they do not get to Fouts. He can stand back there and eat his lunch, and if you give him that amount of time, he'll eat your lunch. Ball into the hands of Joyner. First down, out of the hole, and on the 30-yard line. San Diego moving again.
Joyner is moving ever so close to the 500 catch mark. Fouts on first down. They love to throw, and he wants to go long, but they're well covered. He dumps it off beautifully to Brooks, and he has nearly another first down at the 40-yard line before the piano can trip him up. Joyner had gone deep, and Fouts looked right deep, looked left deep, and then just dumped it off to a safety valve, and Brooks made good yardage. 9 yards on the play.
We're looking at the two of the best protected quarterbacks in the league today. Fouts, the number 3 in terms of best protection. 17 sacks on the year, but 6 of those sacks in one game against the Cincinnati Bengals. You cannot give him that amount of time to throw the football. Brooks, a very valuable addition, as we'd indicated, making the most out of that little let-out pass to him.
And the presence of Fouts to know where everyone was and finally hitting his 3rd man. But for the Chargers, that play will not count. They did not get it off before the end of the first quarter. We've completed the first 15 minutes here in San Diego, California. 2 teams with identical 8-5 records are even after 15 minutes at 7. To the second quarter with a 7-7 tie. That's Tom Catlin, assistant coach of the Bills.
He's the defensive coordinator. Last week, an interesting play in that Washington game. The officials made a mistake. Catlin yelled at them, and they took a play away from the Washington Redskins. We'll explain that here in a minute. But a very big play in that win last week over the Redskins.
Former Oklahoma All-American, played with the Cleveland Browns. He's got a mathematical mind. Speaking of mathematics, there they are, first quarter.
First quarter stats certainly favoring the Chargers in terms of yardage, 120-43. But the most important stat, the score, very even at 7-7. Let's quickly tell that story. Last week, Theismann had been knocked out of the game. Critical 3rd and 27 situation. There was a play run with the backup quarterback Tom Flick in the game. Penalty called. Theismann came back in, completed a pass, but because he had not been out for an official play, they stopped, took the ball back, and it ended up to be one of the critical plays of the game, Dick.
Chuck Muncy blasts up the middle almost at will. Robertson and Freeman finally made the tackle. First down near midfield.
Well, you can't run up through defense unless you have room to run. And Muncy's got about a mile right there. Great blocking by the 2 guards in the center. Masick at center. Wilkerson and White, 2 of the very biggest guards in the NFL. And they're ripping on that play as they get Smerlas and the linebackers aside for big Chuck Muncy.
San Diego at its 48-yard line, first down. Remember, they were back at their 9 after the penalty. That's Wes Chandler. And he's to the 41 of Buffalo. Close to another first down before Lucius Sanford can make the tackle.
Dick, I asked Wes Chandler if there was a difference in the way Archie Manning threw the ball to him in New Orleans as opposed to Dan Fouts. He said, yes, as a matter of fact, 2 things. He said Manning threw the ball to the receiver. Fouts throws the ball to the spot. If you're not there, you don't get the football. And the other big difference, Fouts throws with a 5-step drop on most patterns. Manning with a 7-step drop. And he said, I have to make up that difference in my pass route. Get there in a hurry.
While they measure for the first down, it's a San Diego first down. Fouts 10 more yards. Let's go to New York. And this update with Bryant.
All right, Dick, and the Chargers, you've got 1 of 3 co-leaders in the AFC West. The other 2 are matching wits out in Denver, and the Broncos are getting the better of the Chiefs. They are driving right now and already holding a 10-0 lead in the second period. Dick?
Thank you, Bryant. The Broncos trying to rally from a couple of tough defeats and one here last week against San Diego. The Chargers are first down at the 41 of Buffalo. A 7-7 tie, early second quarter. Fouts to Chandler. Well read by the Bills, and that'll be a loss. Mario Clark, the man who had the interception that set up the Bills touchdown, former star at Oregon, born and raised in Pasadena, California. So he's playing in front of some friends and folks today, makes the play defensively, and it's a sizable loss back to the 45-yard line. We'll call it a -4 for Fouts. Then with a -4, he now has 3,982 yards. He needs 18 more to reach the 4,000-yard mark.
7 defensive backs in the game for Buffalo. One of them down is the defensive lineman.
Fouts to Chandler at the 29, first down. Jeff Nixon, one of those 7 defensive backs, made the tackle. 16 yards on the play, so Fouts needs just 2 more for 4,000.
If you're going to beat Dan Fouts and these Chargers offensively, you've got to rattle Fouts. You've got to knock him off his timing. You may not necessarily have to sack him, but you've got to be able to force him to throw the ball before he wants to throw it. He has not had to do that today, and he is tearing up this Buffalo defense.
Dwight Scales in the game to the right with Chandler or Joyner to the left. And Fouts fakes the little reverse to Brooks. And now in trouble. And will duck out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. He got about a yard after all that dancing.
Fouts basically does not want to run the football, especially with those sore ribs, wisely stepping out of bounds. But you see how much time he was willing to take to try and spot the open receiver. A very capable quarterback, showing the influence of his early training by Bill Walsh, the fine coach of the 49ers. Walsh training some of the outstanding quarterbacks around the league in his tenure as an assistant at various spots around the NFL.
Fouts, who set an NFL record last year, 4,715 yards, and he's on that pace again this year, needing to for the 4,000 club again. And looking for it here on 2nd and 9. He's got it. Kellen Winslow. Fouts is over 4,000. It is not enough for a first down, and brings up 3rd down. Let's go back to New York and Bryant Gumbel.
Okay, Dick, very quickly, up in the Kingdome, the Jets have drawn even with the Seahawks. Richard Todd, 12 yards to Scott Durking for the score, but like the Seahawks did, the Jets missed the point after. They're deadlocked at 6 in the purse. Dick?
Well, that's been an epidemic today, Bryant. So many missed extra points. Not so here, where Buffalo and San Diego both successful. The game is tied at 7. Second quarter, 11:35 left before halftime. A critical 3rd and 4. Brooks unable to make the catch. Looked as if he might have been looking into the sun the way he reacted to trying to receive that ball.
I think maybe he was, Dick. He is a fine pass receiver, and it might have been that he lost that one in the sun as he looked back over his shoulder on that play.
So Rolf Pernerska comes in to try a field goal. The line of scrimmage just outside the 22, so this will be about a 39-yard attempt. Ed Luther, the backup quarterback to hold, call it a 40-yard attempt as he'll spot it at the 30. Well, almost close to 31. That's about an 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Pernerska 13 for 20 this year. And the Bills point at the Chargers.
That might be a costly mistake. The Bills, I think, believe that one of the offensive linemen moved, but if they're wrong, they will have given San Diego a first down, and that would indeed be a costly error defensively. You saw them try and draw the team offside, try and draw the they're going to call it against the Bills. This is an interesting defensive maneuver. Now they're trying to, special teams are trying to draw the lineman offsides. And that's legal defensively.
Meanwhile, Fred Wyeth's trying to get his officials away from all the players so they can discuss, because there may be differing views of who influenced whom. It's against the Bills. What a break for San Diego.
The defensive team was simply jumping up, trying to get that offense to come off sides on the kicking team for the San Diego Chargers, but it backfired on them.
So the offside gives the first down to San Diego.
Watch it now. They had already jumped up, and thinking that the offense had moved, they stepped forward and made contact. Well, they certainly made a tremendous error defensively. That's going to be costly, as now San Diego has a chance to drive that ball in and possibly pick up the 7 points.
So instead of a 40-yard field goal try, Fouts and the Chargers have a first down at the 19. Wes Chandler. Touchdown. Chandler's 5th touchdown of the year. Fouts' 30th touchdown throw.
I asked Dan Fouts earlier in the year after they'd acquired Wes Chandler. I said, what is Wes Chandler going to be able to do for you? Is he going to fill a spot vacated by John Jefferson? He said, in time, I think he may even be greater than Jefferson was as a Charger. He also said that Chandler runs better with the football than any receiver I've ever seen. And you saw some of that ability on that play, and a pretty spectacular spike as well.
Pernerska's extra point is good. So instead of a 40-yard field goal, a critical offside penalty against 17-yard line. First play, it is bounced to Chandler, and it's now 14-7. So a 5-yard penalty is worth at least 4 extra points to San Diego, maybe even 7. There's no assurance that Benishka would have kicked the 40-yard field goal. He hits this one high and short. Curtis Brown. Brown at the 21, 30, and out of the pack to the 34-yard line. Brown from the University of Missouri, as Benishka didn't quite hit that one cleanly. So the Bills trailing 14-7 have the ball. Let's go back to New York for this update.
All right, Dick, losers in 3 of their last 4 games. The Chiefs may be fading from the AFC West race. Larry Canada's 2-yard touchdown has the Broncos now in front 16-0 as they near the half. Dick?
All right, Brian, and of course for these teams, Buffalo, San Diego, and for Kansas City and Denver, it's not that a loss necessarily will totally eliminate a team, but with not much time remaining, no one wants to look at something in the L column. And yet some classic duels today against top-rated teams. Denver with the upper hand at Mile High, and here it's San Diego in front 14-7. Ferguson only 1 for 7 passing. Cribbs into a crowd. May have plowed for 2. Late NFL action. Second half of doubleheaders. Dallas apparently on its way to a win, a very important win, in that Philadelphia's lost again. Cowboys 30-13. The Jets in Seattle tied at 6 at the Kingdome in the second quarter. Tampa Bay 7, Atlanta 6. If Atlanta beats Tampa Bay, if Tampa Bay should lose, first of all, Denver 10-0, and it's more than that now. There would be 4 teams tied for the NFC Central Division with 7-7 records. As Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota are all 7-7, and Tampa Bay, if it wins, will be 8-6, but if it loses, will be 7-7. And Cribbs can't get a thing. Woody Lowe was there.
Joe Cribbs trying to pick up that extra yardage. Not only didn't get the extra yardage, didn't pick up what was potentially there for him on that draw play. Woody Lowe reading the play well, dropping inside, able to get a hold of Cribbs. Cribbs not running as well as you would hope he would coming back from that injury. But that's understandable. He's probably running in a great deal of pain.
And Roland Hicks did such a fine job in relief of Cribbs. We might just see Chuck Knox go to Hooks. Here's the widespread formation out of the shotgun. Ferguson. 3rd down long at the 36. Has a man open. And Frank Lewis has his first catch of the day.
We got a penalty, Dick. We got a illegal use of the forearm against the receiver there. Looked like maybe Lyndon King, who just smashed Frank Lewis right under the jaw with that big forearm.
That'll be 15 more yards marked from the 43-yard line where Lewis made the catch. There's an interesting side story here today. 2 of the outstanding receivers in the game, the one you've just seen, Frank Lewis, and Charlie Joyner, who had quite a first quarter, were teammates at Grambling.
Personal foul, number 27, first down.
Now the foul goes against number 27, Glenn Edwards. And their quarterback was James Harris, who was just activated by the San Diego Chargers for today's game. So 2 of Grambling's best, 2 outstanding veteran receivers who have survived through the years with their excellence. Lewis and Joyner, former teammates, pitted against each other in this crucial game today, and both obviously contributing. That was a 21-yard catch plus 15 on the penalty at the 29. Cribbs got around Johnson, and he's to the 15, the 10, to the 9-yard line goes Joe Cribbs. Gary Johnson couldn't quite put the meat hook on him, and Cribbs on that little screen left has 19 yards.
We'd mentioned that you would watch 2 of the best protected quarterbacks in the league. Buffalo Bills have protected Joe Ferguson better than any team in football. Only 11 sacks on the season. And Cribbs able to get that one after the quick pass, little screen, did some fine running. Get himself good field position. Let's see if they can get to 7 and tie this game.
53, Will Grant through the key block to center. There he is. He took care of 2 men. And Cribbs with a first down and goal at the 9. It's Leaks for a touchdown. Roosevelt leaks 4th touchdown of the year.
Coming back against the right side of the San Diego defense against Gary Big Hands Johnson. Against John Woodcock. Watch it here, just a little draw play. Leaks again, using his great vision to spot the opening. Breaks to the left side. Looked like he started it up to the right. Got in there without being touched by anyone. Let's see if they can't get this extra point through the uprights, tie up the ball game.
Boy, it didn't take the Bills long to go the 76 yards to tie it after the San Diego touchdown. Here's Mickemayer's try for point, and it is good. 66 yards in 5 plays for the Buffalo Bills, and with 8.5 minutes left in this first half, it's even again at 14. Roosevelt leaks. Former Longhorn, preceded Earl Campbell, has given the Bills a tie at 14. Mickemeyer to kick it off. James Brooks at the goal line for San Diego. Brooks at the 2. 15. 25 and out of bounds. Number 21. Next week, Saturday, NFL action at noon. Join Bryant, NFL 81, the New York Jets in a battle with the Miami Dolphins, and these Bills for the AFC Eastern title meet Sam Rutigliano's Cleveland Browns. The Browns are out of it this year, but a chance for them to deny the Jets. Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, the scene. We hope you'll be with us. The Browns and Jets next Saturday at 12 o'clock, and then, of course, a full slate of games on Sunday on NFL 81.
Reverse.
Chandler has it at the 25 to 28 9-yard line. Well read by Isaiah Robertson, who held his ground and made the tackle after a short gain. An injured Bill on the play. Let's pause briefly for station identification. From San Diego, this is the NBC Television Network.
This is Channel 4, KNBC, Los Angeles.
Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, Jack Murphy, San Diego Stadium, the scene. Back and forth we've gone. San Diego scored first, then Buffalo tied it at 7. The Chargers back to go ahead 14-7. Chuck Knox's Bills have just tied the game at 14 here with 8 minutes and 14 seconds left in the first half. As they attend to Isaiah Robertson, let's pause for this important word. Butch Robertson of the Bills, who made that last tackle, he's okay. Have to sit out this play as the Chargers have the ball at their 29-yard line. 2nd down, 6. A quickie to Chandler. Hit immediately by Mario Clark at the 36, and that appears to be good enough for the first down. Chandler with his 5th catch, 46 yards, and has 1 touchdown.
Big Russ Washington, number 70, one of the men responsible for protecting the quarterback. You see how the offensive linemen are using their hands, the arms out wide as he works to keep Big Ben Williams, number 77, away from the quarterback, and on that particular play has to keep him from penetrating because the ball is thrown so quickly.
This is Muncy. They like to run left. Oh, what a tackle at the 39-yard line.
Charles Romes, number 26, the cornerback, up quickly. Took Muncy the only way you'd want to take a running back that big if you're spotting the pounds that he has to. Watch him hit him low right there. As Muncy went into the air, Muncy doing a full flip, coming down hard. Muncy caught a defender last week on the leg with the helmet to the knee. Sent him to the hospital, and they had to put him on injured reserve after the ball game in that game against Denver.
Still gain almost 3 yards. 2nd down. Triple right formation. And Fouts looking right. Dumps it out to Muncy. 40. 50. Out of bounds at the Bills' 45. First down. $17 more yards. Fouts to Muncy.
Strap your helmets on. You can get right into this game with us. Fouts with a little outlet pass. We saw that thrown earlier to Muncy, and then Muncy just running with that football, using his speed and his power, lowering that shoulder. What an awesome running back he is when he gets his momentum up.
Mark it at the 44-yard line for Muncie and the Chargers. Chandler in motion. Winslow is split to the right. There's Joyner. One of the few he's not caught, and a flag is down, and Big Ben Williams of Mississippi is pointing at one of the blockers. It's holding against San Diego. Final score in, and the Dallas Cowboys have won again. Baltimore has lost again. That is 13 in a row for the Colts. 37-13 Cowboys as they move in front of the Philadelphia Eagles, who were upset at Washington today.
Holding number 70.
Russ Washington picks up his second call against Big Ben Williams. They've been using Leroy, or not Leroy. They've been using Johnson as a fourth defensive lineman. Ken Johnson coming in to help get some pressure on Fouts, but as of yet, Dick, they have not been able to get any pressure on Big Dan Fouts.
Neither team has recorded a sack.
They haven't recorded a sack, and certainly in the case of Buffalo, they really have not pressured him either.
1st and 20. Fouts going long, and almost a one-handed catch by Chandler, and what Chandler did was deny Buffalo what they thought was an interception.
That's the second pass today that appeared to take off on Fouts. Now, it's possible that that injury has caused Fouts to change his throwing motion a little bit. Normally, he's a very accurate quarterback. Watch this ball thrown above and behind. It's certainly right, Dick, that Chandler did a great job of getting his hand back. Tremendous body control to deny the interception on that play. But I've got to believe that laying off, as Fouts had to do early in this week, and operating with injured ribs may indeed be forcing him to do something different in his throwing motion.
Sherman White is out, and number 97, Darrell Irvin, is playing the right defensive end for Buffalo. Brooks and Ben Williams, trailing the play, made the tackle at the 45-yard line after a short gain, if any. Maybe a loss of a yard on that pass, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 21. This telecast, presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Diego Chargers and the National Football League is prohibited.
Buffalo Bill defenders talking about playing against Fouts and the Chargers, very concerned about the number of offensive weapons that Fouts has to work with. They were willing to trade some yards and try and keep the points off the board. Have not been able to do that so far. They may have to start attacking with blitzes.
14-14 tie. Fouts ducks from pressure, hits Joyner, and he is finally wrapped up at the 38. That would be short of the 1st down. A flag is also down.
Fouts hit as he threw that football, getting up very gingerly. You see the flak jacket he's wearing. I've got to believe that maybe it's that flak jacket perhaps that caused him to throw a couple of bad passes early. Might alter his throwing motion. You see him drilled there, going to the ground. Look at him grab for those ribs. Oof.
Darrell Irvin putting the pressure on. There was no flag apparently, and at the 39-yard line it is 4th down and 5. 16 yards on that last throw by Fouts, having another big statistical day. And out of Benerska's range, in comes George Roberts. Riddick drops back as the solo safety at the 10. And delay a game against the Chargers, but they don't mind. With the ball at the 39, that gives Roberts more room in which to kick.
I think I indicated that Roberts the only left-footed kicker in the league. You remember any other left-footed kickers?
I was wondering about that, but I trust you.
Well, a couple that come to mind. I can't go back as Joe Costanza did to Frankie Albert, but I can tell you about Bucky Dilts. Bucky kicked for the Denver Broncos, and then running back for the Green Bay Packers.
Oh yes, Donnie Anderson. It was an excellent kicker.
Yep.
Indeed. Former Red Raider. Now after the 5-yard penalty, Roberts aiming for the near sidelines. Looks good, but kicks into the end zone, and it'll be the touchback 20-yard line for the Buffalo Bills. 44, but a net of just 24 for Roberts. I hope someday that the net punting average becomes the statistic, not just the straight punting average. I think it's much more revealing. The San Diego Harbor, huge carrier off in the distance.
There's the fireboats welcoming the carrier in.
Navy Town. Lewis left. Butler right. Joe Ferguson and the Bills. 1st down at their 20-yard line on the touchback. Fergie is 3 for 9, 52 yards passing. It's a 14-14 tie. Less than 5 minutes left in the first half. Nothing going from that draw play as Joe Cribbs wrapped up for a 3-yard loss. Gary Johnson made the play.
Buffalo Bills made a nice gain on that play earlier. A little misdirection. Leaks hitting first and then Cribbs slipping in behind, but they didn't fool Gary Johnson. He stopped it up very admirably.
They give forward progress to the 18, so it'll be 2nd and 12. The Bills have not been a good road team this year. They're 1-4 on the road after a 7-1, a record 7 wins at home this year at Rich Stadium. They are talking proud up in Buffalo. 2nd and 12. Leaks. Tried to go wide, and Woody Lowe made the tackle.
Leaks diving at the end, went right into the back of Ken Johnson's legs. Watch the block by Cribbs, number 20. As he comes up inside to try and take a piece of Woody Lowe, stays right after him. But watch what happens right there. Ken Jones, number 72, really took a shot on the back of the legs, and he's having some trouble. Let's hope that's not an injury. It might just be a contusion, but Ken Jones, a fine offensive tackle, originally started as a defensive lineman. They switched him over, and he's come to play very well in that position. Very interesting story. Ray Prohaska, the offensive line coach for the Buffalo Bills, very concerned in the early going because Jones was getting so many holding calls. And finally, he said in desperation, maybe those officials have just memorized your numbers. At the time, he was wearing number 73. So he said, let's change your number. They changed him to number 72 in the middle of the season. Maybe that had a psychological impact. Not nearly as many holding penalties in the second half of the season. But he has become an excellent player, Dick.
And he must be in great condition after that picture that we just saw, that knee caving in, and he went off the field as if he's going to be okay.
It's amazing the kind of blows that your body can take. And you can still come back if your body is in condition. And these athletes must be in condition to play this game. Better on a warm day like this, though, than it would be on a cold day. For instance, the kind of day you'd be having in Buffalo.
3rd and 10. Ferguson out of the shotgun. Good protection.
Ooh.
Incomplete, intended for Lou Picone. The little speedster from West Liberty State, the special team star, couldn't get his hands on what appeared to be a good pass.
Picone going to see this one coming in his sleep tonight. Ball should have been caught right into his hands. I think he was looking for traffic, maybe hearing some footsteps as he saw Pete Shaw, number 44, out of the corner of his eye. He should have had that one.
In to kick. Greg Cater had his troubles the first 2 times. It's a beauty. Brooks at the other end at the San Diego 31. 35 and tackled at the 36-yard line. Chris Keating, number 52, made the defensive play. 50-yard punt and a 6-yard return. A 14-14 tie with 3 minutes left in the first half. Well, around the country as we've traveled, fans, football fans, Merlin, have said, I can't wait for New Year's Day. Do you fellas ever have a triple header? The divorce lawyers are rubbing their hands in glee already over that lineup. Wait till you hit the calls in the second. It's going to start early with a Fiesta Bowl. And congratulations to San Diego native Marcus Allen of USC. You'll see him against Penn State, the Rose Bowl, Iowa, and Washington. And then Clemson goes for the national championship against Nebraska. Clemson, the only unbeaten team. 1, 2, 3, the first triple header and bowl games on television. That's a lateral. And out of bounds goes Winslow with a big loss at the 25-yard line. 11-yard loss, but Winslow was alert enough to make sure he went after it. And Fouts was angry.
I believe that there might have been a second pass contemplated there because it was a deliberate lateral by Fouts. Winslow obviously knew that that ball was a lateral. As he goes back to get it, all the receivers had gone downfield. I think maybe they were going to turn around and throw that deep, Dick.
Interesting point. And as you said that, we looked, and Wes Chandler was over in the next county. He was very deep. Chandler far left. Joyner near side, only Muncie in the backfield. They go with double tight ends, Winslow left and Sievers right. And pitch it to Muncy. To the 30-yard line, and a flag is down.
We may see the third penalty of the day on Big Russ Washington. It was right on his heels where it landed.
It is illegal use of the hands. Muncy, by the way, with 45 yards today, take away the 5 would be only 40 yards, has 954 for the season, the leading Charger rusher. He's averaging, well, just look at his number, 4.6. That's his average, and anytime you're over 4.5, you're getting more than your share.
Illegal use of the hands in the back. Number 70.
Boy, bad day for Washington, the 14-year veteran from Missouri, who started as a defensive tackle where he could use those big mitts, and then after a couple years was shifted to offense.
Get a chance to see it right there. You are allowed to use those hands on pass blocking, but you're not allowed to use them in extension on run blocking. Washington called for that offense there.
Interesting. They gave the Chargers the 5 yards to the Bills, and there's Ben Williams with the first sack of the game, and another flag goes down. Williams and White were both there. Another penalty against San Diego, but undoubtedly this will be declined because it brings up 4th down.
First sack of the day, finally getting some pressure on Dan Fouts. As we said earlier, that's the key to getting after this San Diego offense. If you can't pressure him.
Holding
66, Billy Shields, the man that they ticketed for that one. Russ Washington glad to get a break, but he's not getting a break from Ben Williams, number 77, who blew around him on that particular play. 83, Sherman White, the man that Shields was holding, also a part of that sack.
Williams, as you saw, led the Bills with 12 sacks last season. Roland Hooks, solo safety at the 32 as Roberts to kick from his 15. Ooh, that's short again. And takes a lateral bounce out of bounds at the San Diego 48-yard line. So punting has been part of the story here in the first half, and the Bills come up with great field position on a 24-yard kick by Roberts. 2:44 left in the first half, and Chuck Knox's team in a 14-14 tie. Although they've been out-yarded by San Diego, they're in position to gain the lead.
They certainly are. Both teams able to take advantage of field position early. The Bills able to pick up a touchdown off an interception. There are the games remaining for the 3 teams in contention. Buffalo, of course, has got to go on the road. New England and at Miami. The other 2 teams.
Jets have had the easier schedule, although they got their hands full with Seattle today. Ferguson almost intercepted and then almost caught by Cribbs. Did he catch it? No.
Ball balancing on his hands.
There's a Buffalo fan.
Cribbs upset with himself. Looked like he had it. Look at the power that Ferguson puts on this ball. I talked about the zip that he can put on the football. Throws it right between 2 defenders. Just rifles the ball. It looked like Cribbs had the football. Now watch what happens to it. Juggling the football, has it 2 or 3 times, but must control that football. We've seen them called for a reception with less control than that during this season under the new rules, Dick.
And Cribbs couldn't find the handle before it hit the ground. He had the ball on the ground and in his hands, no catch. Ferguson 3 for 11 passing. Looks at 2nd and 10. Good protection. There's his man at the 41. Jerry Butler hit immediately by Lyndon King. Short of the first down by about 3.
Jerry Butler, you saw him earlier one-on-one, working on the linebacker. Now King getting back into his territory, zone coverage. Butler coming underneath. King coming back to get in on the tackle, but it's a good gain. Going to be 3rd and about 3.
Butler with 2 catches today, 51 for the year. He was 9th in the AFC last year when he caught 57, so he's right on track again. And there's the timeout at the 2-minute warning. About 2 minutes left in this first half, so well played, evenly at 14 all, but it's the Bills in possession. 3rd down at the Charger 41.
Special edition on Saturday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and Dick Enberg, my partner, be there handling the action by himself. And you taking on a load, partner.
Without you, I
Good luck to you.
Listen, I want you there just to keep me warm. I want that big body. It is 3rd down and 3 at the 41-yard line. in a 14-14 tie. 2 minutes left first half. Out of the shotgun, Ferguson. Going deep down the middle to Butler. Right there, but broken up by Willie Buchanan when it appeared Butler was open.
Excellent play by number 28, Willie Buchanan. Butler gets a little jump to the inside. He's got a chance to get free here. Buchanan times his move excellently. Watch the hand come across to the inside. Might have tabbed him a little bit early. Did not get the flag. Butler comes up shaking his head and slapping his hands. Wishing he could have gotten his hands on that one. Fourth down, they're going to punt it away.
Buchanan, who played his college football here for Don Coryell at San Diego State. Butler appeared to have pretty good throw aimed at him. Cater to kick. So the Chargers are going to have plenty of time with that Air Coryell going for them. 1:55 left in this first half, and a delay of game against Buffalo. That'll give Cater a little more punting room to really root one out.
Steve Moore, the special teams coach for the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, they'd like to get a little better position to aim for the sideline. Hard for some kickers to
Offense, fourth down.
Hard for some kickers to kick at less than full proportion and still angle for the sideline. So very often they'll try and get them back 5 yards so they can take a full swap at it and move it toward the sideline. Kickers have not done well. You'd expect them to do well on a day with no wind and nice and warm. These punters have had their problems today.
Line of scrimmage is the 46. Brooks is at the San Diego 10.
They might be expecting San Diego to come after this one.
They brought in their wide men. Very high.
Ooh, boy.
Quite short. Brooks fair catch. Fumble! And on the muff, he's able to recover at the 13-yard line.
It was a play like that that allowed them to win that game. The Buffalo Bills last week against Washington, recovering a muff fumble in the second half that they turned into a touchdown. They almost got a big break there as Brooks took that very high kick, bounced off of him, but he was able to get on it before he was completely swarmed over by the Buffalo defenders.
87, Steve Albers, the snapper, was downfield to cover Brooks. Albers, who may get the ball back to the punter more quickly. He throws bullets back there than any center or snapper in the NFL.
And they only had 10 men on the field. They have to get one off the sideline.
Here comes Rod Cushon as Fouts. He's tough enough with 11. He's throwing for Winslow, and what a catch by Winslow at the 34.
Now that's a mismatch, certainly in height. Rufus Best going up against Kellen Winslow. Winslow just using his long reach to get around. A little disorganized there on the Buffalo side as they had to run an extra defensive man in. Williams doesn't get there to pressure Fouts. Fouts throws a perfect strike, leads him beautifully. Ooh, he got pressure on that one.
And on the blitz, he threw almost an interception by Fred Smerlis, number 76. As the Bills sent someone through cleanly, Jeff Nixon.
Yeah, number 38, Jeff Nixon, coming in there hard. He had 2 sacks last week. Nixon, by the way, was one of the safeties injured in that season game last year here in San Diego. Knocked out for the year. He and Cush both were knocked out in that game. Last week, one of the first games in which he has had extended action, coming in with the 7 defensive backs against Washington. Blitzed in and got 2 sacks on Theismann, a very important factor in their win last week.
He's a ball hawk. He had 11 interceptions the last 2 years. On 2nd and 10, and the flag is down. It's Winslow. Is he out of bounds? Apparently not. He's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Now we'll check the flag. If it's against San Diego, it'll nullify a great individual effort. If not, maybe Buffalo. No, it's against Buffalo. I think the Bills relaxed, thinking that the penalty was against the Chargers, and Winslow alertly kept right on it going. Touchdown.
They're down there congratulating Kellen Winslow. And I've got to tell you, there's going to be a giant powwow over there with Tom Catlin, defensive coordinator. defensively, you simply cannot try and guess who the penalty is on. You can't guess whether the man stepped out of bounds. You've got to continue until the whistle blows. The Buffalo Bills did not do that on that play, and they pay a 6-point price and maybe a 7-point price for that mistake.
And 55 seconds left in the half. The Chargers are back in front on the 67-yard catch, but it was the running and alert play of Winslow that steals the score. Benerska's try for point. High snap. Good job by Luther. And it's 21-14. And for Dan Fouts, he has 260 yards passing in the first half.
Watch Winslow now. Out quickly to the outside. You'll see him as he tiptoes down the sideline. Now he'll be pushed from the inside. That's Billy Simpson that pushes him toward the sideline. Winslow getting close to the sideline, but did not touch the sideline. Simpson chasing. He does not have the speed of Winslow. Nixon, number 38, the man that finally tripped him up.
I think they relaxed right here because the flag went right down where the catch was made. Right there.
Certainly did. Simpson, it looked like he had the first chance, but Nixon, you could see him easing up. And then finally, in desperation, tries to catch up with Winslow, but to no avail.
It was a combination of the flag and the fact that they thought Winslow was out of bounds. And that one-step relaxation is worth 7 points for the Chargers and Winslow. And it's his 10th touchdown catch this year. And his longest of the year. 87 yards in 3 plays.
Fouts rapidly closing in on that 300-yard game. He's getting there in a hurry today.
Only needs 40 yards in the second half. Now it's the Bills down by 7. Short kick. The rookie. This is Riddick. 30 has some blockers and gets to the 35. 49 seconds left for Joe Ferguson to try to get his team in scoring position.
Well, for all of our aspiring football players watching, a very valuable lesson in that last play. You never stop until the whistle blows. Even if you're sure the man stepped out of bounds defensively and you don't hear the whistle, you've got to go and stop him. You see Chuck Knox shaking his head. Chuck, a street fighter, an offensive line coach, as a young assistant, he still plays a tough brand of football, and he's a little bit upset that he got out snookered on that particular play.
Now that play will be on Brian Gumbel's highlights. NFL 81 at halftime. Stay with us. All the scores, top plays today. Ferguson from his own 35. Flags are down, and the Chargers have their first sack. John Woodcock, veteran end from Hawaii.
Woodcock, the man assigned to take the place of Fred Dean, a pretty tough job. San Diego, or no, Buffalo will be ticketed with a penalty, but obviously they'll wave that off. They would rather have the sack and the yardage.
Illegal motion number 51. 5.
Sounded like 51, which would be Jim Richer.
61, I think Lynch is the man that they might have ticketed. We've got 2 1s in there. You got Richer in there, 51, and Lynch, number 61, who's gone in place of Jones.
Only the 11th sack allowed by the Buffalo offensive line this year, leading the NFL. 44 seconds remaining. Ferguson under center may mean they're going to stay on the ground. They do. Cribbs to the 35-yard line. The clock is running at 35. The Bills have their timeouts remaining, but apparently are going to elect not to use them. And ball at the 35, and they're content. Now they stop the clock at the 27-second mark, so they lost about 8 seconds making that decision. Well, the difference in passing statistics, Merlin, are more than dramatic. Fouts is 19 for 27, 260 yards. Ferguson, 4 for 13 and 59 yards. 201 yards less than Fouts.
Ferguson certainly not able to bounce back. He, as we had indicated, had a lousy week of throwing the ball last week. Very upset with himself for the way he played there. You see him talking to Kay Stevenson, the quarterback coach, there with the hat on your right.
I like the way you're working in all the names of the assistant coaches today for the Chargers and the Bills, and I know that is a conscious thing you're doing, and they're so often, much like offensive linemen, the forgotten talents in the football program.
Well, I'm sure that Fouts appreciating the kind of coaching he gets from his coaches. Not only don't they get the kind of help that they deserve in terms of recognition, but they also spend such long hours. Often the day of an offensive, defensive coach in the NFL stretches on some days to 14, 15, 16 hours. And I think it's nice when we can talk about them, Dick, and give them a little bit of credit.
3rd down 10 Buffalo at the Bills 35 with 27 seconds left. Trailing 21-14 on the ground to Cribbs again. And he gets only 3 yards. Louis Kelcher coming over the top to congratulate Lowe, almost mashed his linebacker teammate.
Woody Lowe was jumping up to try and call a timeout, and Kelcher just about annihilated him. Dick, they're down conversions in this first half. San Diego 2 of 6, Buffalo 2 of 5. But certainly the real clincher for the first half is the big play capability and the passing of Dan Fouts. They simply have, the Buffalo defense has simply not been able to put the brakes on the San Diego offense in this first half.
You said that this man, Dan Fouts, you believe if he stays healthy will break all the significant passing records of Johnny Unitas and all the other great former stars of this league.
He's going to rewrite the record books. Now, there's no question that he is passing and throwing the ball under different rules and different standards, more games, but Fouts, even under the old standards, would have been an incredible quarterback.
Cater to kick, 10-man front for the Chargers. Brooks is back at the 20. They're coming, and he gets away a good one. Brooks lets it bounce, and it goes out of bounds at the 17-yard line. So with 12 seconds left, the Chargers have the ball. We'll see if they'll try to do anything dramatic. Speaking of dramatic, the Bills, of course, have maybe the outstanding single play in that regard of the year against the New England Patriots, where they got the ball with less than a minute remaining deep in their own end, and long pass, and finally the last play of the game, Ferguson just cranked it up and threw that, they call it the Big Ben play in Buffalo, into the end zone, batted around by 4 or 5 players and right into the arms of Roland Hooks for a miracle victory, 20-17, that has kept them in the race. 44 yards on that punt by Cater. See if Fouts goes for one long one. He has Chandler to the right. No, he's just going to ride out the half. Now the seconds tick away. 3, 2, 1, and that is the end of the first half here at Jack Murphy Stadium. The San Diego Chargers of Don Coryell with a big play from Kellen Winslow late in the first half leave the field at the intermission with a lead 21-14. Olsen ready for the second half. The Bills and the Chargers, both teams with 8 wins and 5 losses on the year. A loss would be ever so damaging to their hopes for the playoffs. Nick Mickemeyer to kick off for Buffalo to start the second half. The Bills down 21-14. James Brooks at the goal line, San Diego. It comes to Greger at the 5-yard line. Bob Greger, defensive back, to the 20. Breaks a tackle and is down at the 25. Finally wrapped up by Rod Cush. Dan Fouts takes the field after a great first half, 260 yards passing. And with him in the backfield as we open this second half will be Chuck Muncie, who scored his 19th rushing touchdown of the year to tie an NFL record, along with James Brooks. Wide receivers, Kellen Winslow, the tight end, with Charlie Joyner and Wes Chandler. Offensive line, Masick, Wilkerson, White, Shields, and Washington. 2 tight ends in. Eric Sievers is in there, Dick. Sievers left and Winslow right. Flag is down. Muncie ducking inside and then outside for about 3. Bill Simpson leading the charge, and another flag goes down. Face mask. I don't know what the first one was. The second one is a face mask call against the Buffalo Bills. And it appeared offside was against the Bills as well. Not a good way to start a half. 2 very costly errors by the Bills in that first half that ended up costing them points. The offsides on that attempted 40-yard field goal. San Diego coming right back for a touchdown. And then the apparent hope that Winslow had stepped out of bounds. The defensive backs for Buffalo stopping. Winslow going all the way for that second crucial touchdown.
Face mask, number 45. First down.
Marked off from the spot of the foul, which was the 27, so it goes out to the 32-yard line.
Be a 1st and 10 right there. There's the mask right there. They've called 45. It was Lucius Sanford, number 57. Billy Simpson getting a bum rap on that one, Bill.
Both wide receivers to the left, and Joyner comes in motion. Give it to Muncy. Big hole. And Muncy is out near the 40-yard line before Lucius Sanford and Steve Freeman can drag him down. Halftime statistics, and of course it's all on the Chargers side. 3-1 in total yards.
Not only very one-sided for them in terms of yardage and passing stats, but the one surprising stat in time of possession, the Chargers, not a ball control team, had the ball over 17 minutes to just a little over 12 minutes for Buffalo.
3 yards to go on 2nd down. Incomplete to Winslow. So it'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Chargers. Fouts is about to move ever closer, and he may even do it this year, to a very significant mark, and that's 300 yards in a game. Johnny Unitas, the all-time record holder for 300-yard passing games, one ahead of Sonny Jurgensen, and Fouts, in his relatively short career, is only 3 off the lead and seems destined to make it number 24 today.
He's had 5 300-yard games already. Seems well on his way to his 6th. He's had 5 other games between 295 and 300 yards
this year. Goodness. And Winslow drops 2 in a row. That's hard to believe. Winslow, sure-fingered receiver, and that means that George Roberts will have to come in and punt.
You won't see this very often. Big number 80, Kellen Winslow, missing a 2nd pass in a row. This one just a little fly to the outside. Winslow would have had room with his hands on that football to pick up an easy 1st down.
Well, Roberts comes in to punt. He averaged only 32 yards a kick on 3 punts in the 1st half. This one's fairly short. Comes to Hooks at the 24. Gets a block. And squeezes out to the 32, maybe the 33-yard line. 37-yard punt. Keith Ferguson made the tackle. And at the 33-yard line, Joe Ferguson brings in his offense. See if they stay with Joe Cripps. They do. Number 20, along with Roosevelt Leaks, who scored a touchdown in the 1st half. Jerry Butler and Frank Lewis are the wide receivers. Mark Bramer, the tight end. The offensive line of Grant, Richard, Dobler, Lynch, Devlin. First down in a 21-14 game. San Diego in front. Buffalo's first possession, the early 3rd quarter. It's Leaks to the 35. And after the whistle, the ball is fumbled. Bob Horn and Gary Johnson teamed up on the tackle. Defense for the Chargers: Jones, Johnson, Kelcher, and Woodcock, the defensive line. King, Laslovic, and Lowe, the linebackers. Buchanan and Ellis at the corners. Shaw and Edwards at safety.
We'd indicated that this much maligned San Diego defense had been playing better the past few weeks. They have played better today than they had in the early part of the year, and they certainly have limited the things that Buffalo has been able to do offensively, Dick.
From the 35. Ferguson appears to be checking off.
Offside.
Might have been pulled offside.
Borchard. Now Borchard moved number 73 off early, and that'll cost Buffalo 5 yards. They have really hurt themselves. As they had there, you saw the quick move by number 73. He cannot lift his hand up off the ground once he is set in his 3-point stance. And it doesn't matter whether the defensive man moves or not.
Ball start, 73. 2nd down.
2nd down, 13 after the penalty. Each team hit 5 times in the game. Chargers with more yardage.
Buffalo has had an interesting year. They haven't been able to get it together. The offense would have a good day, the defense would be off. The defense would be off, the offense would be off. They've done the same thing today in this game. They just have not been all together during this ball game.
Well, they've never been able to win more than 2 in a row all season long. Ferguson well protected, finds a man open, Frank Lewis, and Lewis is near midfield before wrestled out of bounds at the 48. The 34-year-old veteran has another big catch. It was his long catch and then a personal foul that set up one of the Buffalo touchdowns in the 1st half.
16 yards on that play, and Frank Lewis having his best year ever really a walking attraction for what can be done with dedication, and same kind of receiver as Charlie Joyner. Great discipline, great pass routes. What a consummate pro. They're really proud of him in Buffalo, and they should be.
Well, he was schooled well by Coach Robinson there at Grambling, both of those players. First down near the 49 of Buffalo. Little fake, and then the give to Cribbs going the other way. Well read, and down at the 49. No question, Joe Cribbs is not running like the Joe Cribbs when he's 100%. Other scores. Jets now have gone in front of Seattle 16-13 in the third quarter. Jets trying to stay even with Miami. The Dolphins have already run, and here comes Kansas City down 16-0. The Chiefs have scored 13 unanswered points, and they're back in the game at Mile High Stadium. Here it's 21-14. The San Diego Chargers leading the Buffalo Bills. Second down and 8 at the 49 of San Diego. Pressure from Johnson, and out of bounds, incomplete, and a flag is down. And a little extracurricular stuff on the sidelines. Another flag is down. I believe we had a hold by Buffalo, and we may also have a foul on the sidelines.
Oh, you have a personal foul over there.
Against San Diego, holding against Buffalo. Those will be negating penalties. Chuck Knox is about as expressionless as we've ever seen him.
That's interesting. Both of these coaches.
Holding, number 53. Personal foul, number 57. No play, replay, second down.
Personal foul against Lyndon King on the sideline. Let's see if you can see it. Number 57, the man who just takes him out of bounds. We saw a tackle by King earlier in the game on Joe Ferguson. He didn't get ticketed for that one. They got him this time. Chuck Knox, one of the most animated coaches in the NFL on the sideline. He is placid today, Rick.
49-year-old graduate of Juniata College. He's from Sewickley, Pennsylvania. Led the Rams to 5 straight NFC Western titles before going to Buffalo. Second down and 8 as they replay it. Down the middle open is Cribbs. And he's loose at the 10. It is out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Joe Cribbs. He's such a fine receiver. Cribbs has caught 31 coming into the game, 6 for touchdowns, and gets 48 yards on that play.
Cribbs has had some big receptions on the year. That certainly will be one of them. We talked about him not running as well as he had with the ball, but certainly able to do a good job here. Jim Laslavig, the linebacker that Cribbs had beaten. And you watch him here as he stretches out to try and get that extra yardage. Finally drilled out of bounds. They're going to be very close to that 1-yard line. Let's see if they can't get it into the end zone. Get themselves back into a tie in this ballgame.
Of course, they're at the 1-yard line, Merlin, but inside the 20 has really been the problem, hasn't it, for Buffalo through the year?
They've cost themselves a lot of touchdowns in situations in which they were pretty sure they were going to get a score.
Leaks, not there. Stacked up shy of the goal line. He gained at least a half-yard. We pause briefly for station identification from San Diego. This is the NBC television network.
This is Channel 4 KNBC Los Angeles.
San Diego, California, Jack Murphy Stadium. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen. We're pleased you've joined us. San Diego leading Buffalo 21-14. But here in the third quarter, with 11.5 minutes remaining, the Buffalo Bills have it second and goal at the half-yard line as they go for the tying touchdown. Leaks is the logical man that Ferguson will give the ball. And it is Leaks hitting the backfield, but he plows forward for the touchdown.
Roosevelt Leaks completing about 60% on the short yardage assignments, the goal line assignments they've given him on the year. A real fire plug of a back, and that's the kind of power you need to run in short yardage and goal line situations. Hit well in the backfield, able to pull out. Watch it yourself now. He'll be hit deep in the backfield by Louis Kelcher, number 74. pulls away from the arm tackle of Kelcher, gets away from a second tackler, and drives into the end zone for the score.
Big extra point try by Mickemeyer. Matt Robinson to hold. And the game is even again. So they've matched touchdowns throughout. San Diego always scoring first at 7, at 14, and now at 21.
Another quick look at Roosevelt Leaks. Now watch again as Kelcher gets him. Let's see if we can't see who the San Diego second. Well, can't see the second tackler. But what a fine play to put them back even at 21 all.
York, out in Denver, Joe Delaney is out of the ball game, but James Hadnot has picked up the slack for the Chiefs. He scores on a 1-yard plunge. It brings the Chiefs back to 3 down from the Broncos, 16-13 in the fourth quarter. Let's go back to San Diego.
11 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Bills have just tied it. 1-yard run by Leaks, 67 yards, 6 plays. Winslow got 67 in 1 play to make it 21-14. Now it's even at 21. Mickemeyer. Your James Brooks at the 1. 20. 30, and he's to the 32-yard line. Jim Britcher made the tackle.
Very often the credit for great plays like this will all go to the backs. Let's give some credit to the fine offensive work of the linemen. Number 84, Buster Barnett, tight end in there, doing some good blocking. Joe Devlin, number 70. But that's a good back to have coming up behind you, too. He's a stump.
You're automatically good if you can bounce free of Louis Kelcher's grasp. From the 32, it's Muncy sprinting into the secondary and has a first down at the 43. Muncy in the first half with 45 yards, now has 58 on the day.
Watch the control that they get on Smerlas, the big middle nose man there, 67. Ed White, the man that gets the last chunk of it, but he got a good bump by 62, Don Masick. And if you're going to run against that 3-4 defense, you've got to be able to control the nose man. San Diego has done that effectively here.
Muncy again, and a flag goes down at the 47 where you'd suspect a hold. Filipiano, Hazlitt, and others on the Buffalo tackle. Here's Fred Wyant. And another 10 against San Diego. Here it's a 21 tie in the third quarter. New England losing again. Miami at least short of a part of first place. San Francisco and Cincinnati, 2 first place teams. The 49ers win at Cincinnati. Washington upsets Philly. 3 straight losses for Vermeil's Eagles. Giants beat the Rams. Rams continue their slump. Giants are at 500. St. Louis is at 500 with a 33 win. They've really come back. Big upset, the Bears over Minnesota. Chicago has really punished a lot of top-notch teams all year. Green Bay right back in the thick of it, and they're in a roll. Dallas wins again. Baltimore loses again. Fouts wide open is Winslow. He has a first down at the 49. 3 more scores just to complete the picture. Jets now lead Seattle in the third quarter by 3, trying to stay even with Miami. Tampa Bay has moved in front. If the Buccaneers win, they move into sole possession of first place. If they lose, there'll be 4 teams tied with 7-7 records in that Central Division. And Kansas City making it close at Denver in the fourth quarter. The Broncos by 3.
You talked about Chicago upsetting so many people. One of the people they upset, the San Diego Chargers, early in the season, Dick.
And they came very close to beating Dallas on Thanksgiving Day. John Cappelletti, no one watching him, and he has a first down at the 39, and another flag is down. Well, they don't expect Cappelletti to get the ball. Everyone keying on Muncy.
They're calling the penalty against Buffalo on this one. Smerlas, again on the center, quickly taking the left side of the center. Cappelletti ducked right into the hole he'd vacated. Ed White didn't know who to block on it. 42, Cush finally coming over to try and get a piece of Cappelletti. Cappelletti making big yardage. First down. They'll decline the penalty.
12 yards down to the 39-yard line of Buffalo. It's tied at 21. 9.5 minutes left, third quarter. Muncy the only running back. To Winslow. And Winslow to the 31-yard line. And another flag goes down. As Lucius Sanford.
Yep. Well, we've had a lot of penalties in this game, and some unnecessary penalties too, and that will be a very costly foul against the Buffalo Bills. You want to play aggressive football, but you don't want to go after the head of a receiver. You don't want to go after anybody's head these days, because that's an automatic 15-yard penalty.
Personal foul, number 57. First down.
And the 15 yards against Sanford takes it all the way to the 16-yard line of San Diego, as they trade touchdowns in this key game between the AFC West and AFC East contenders, trying to break the 21 tie. That's Chandler in motion. Muncy with blockers gets close to the 11-yard line. Haslett, the middle of that defense for Buffalo, makes the tackle. He was the NFL Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. Leading scorer on the Bills basketball team in the offseason.
Talking about the assistant coaches, Ernell Durden, the offensive backfield coach for the San Diego Chargers. I wonder if he taught Muncy how to run. I don't think they needed to do much except help Muncy get himself straight when he came here from New Orleans. He certainly is a very valuable reclamation project for Coryell and Ernell Durden.
2nd and 5 from the 11. No hole that time, and no gain. Lucius Sanford finishing up the tackle. Also in on the play is 77 Ben Williams. It'll be 3rd down and 5 at the 11-yard line, and Bills bring in a couple of defensive backs plus 91 Ken Johnson. Atlanta now leads Tampa Bay 23-17. Of course, the Falcons are fighting for a wild card themselves.
3 wide receivers in for Fouts. Plays coming in as always from the sideline. Let's see what they've called from upstairs.
Winslow, Joyner, and Chandler all to the right, with Scales to the left. Fouts intercepted and dropped in the end zone. Oh my. For the Bills, a chance for Jeff Nixon to really spoil the party for San Diego. That'll bring on the field goal unit.
Want to feel like you're part of the action? Kellen Winslow getting bumped by number 38. Nixon right there. Now watch what happens when that ball comes in. It gets into his hands, and Winslow, playing the defender, just strips those hands away from the football. Excellent camera work. Our folks down in the truck, Larry Cirillo.
Richard Klein, nice job indeed. Bernerska from 29 yards, and he just hooks it in there. So the first field goal of the game, and San Diego is back in front. 7:45 left 3rd quarter. Chargers 24, Bills 21. Who's that mean fella in Father Murphy that wants to take those kids to the workhouse?
Well, he wants to get them out. Jack Elam, who's our guest star this week, and we're going to do everything we can to get those kids back out of the workhouse, Dick. But one of the reasons I won't be able to join you on Saturday is we're very busy shooting our show for NBC, and hope all the folks out there are giving us a look and enjoying it as much as we're enjoying bringing it to them.
You bet. Great ratings last week. You're going to send me to the workhouse all alone.
You go by yourself to Cleveland.
Riddick with a kickoff. And a little daylight, and finally struggles out to the 32-yard line. The youngster with a good run back there. The matchup, the Jets battling for a playoff spot. The Cleveland Browns Saturday, 12 o'clock Eastern time. NFL 81, 12:30 for the kickoff. We'll be there, and our color man will be the crowd at Cleveland, the graphics, the audio, and all the great pictures on NBC Sports. Looking forward to that challenge. Going to miss Merlin Olsen. Maybe you could tape record a few comments.
I'll watch it. I'll give you a look.
24-21. The Bills have never led. And a flag goes down again. This should be against the Bills, and it appears against Conrad Dobler. There's Dobler from Wyoming, now in his 10th year. Not exactly a big fan of Merlin Olsen's, but kind of interesting. The Dobler family is here, and that was a cute conversation.
Holding, number 69. First down.
He and Louis Kelcher last year in a playoff game went just toe-to-toe, and Dobler was punching Kelcher and grabbing his face mask. And I saw Louis after the ball game. He said, "Did you see what Dobler did to me?" I said, "Louis, I've been there."
I want you to relate what Mr. and Mrs. Dobler said to you after this play, though. That was kind of nice. Well, first down and 20 now for the Buffalo Bills after the penalty. Ferguson going deep and almost into the hands of Willie Buchanan as Jerry Butler was the intended receiver. What did the Dobler family say to you?
I saw Conrad's father yesterday on the field. He said, "I know you don't like my son, but he said, I hope you don't hold it against me." And I said, "I don't mind your son, Conrad." I said, "I even shook hands with him." He said, "You better count your fingers, son."
So Papa Dobler knows. And
got a sense of humor.
And Conrad replaced Joe DeLamielleure after he was traded to Cleveland.
Conrad's had his tough times with Chuck Knox after 2 big leg whipping calls in that Dallas game. Knox put him on the bench, said, "We don't do dumb things like that. At least we don't do them and get caught. That's the important thing."
But back in there today trying to protect Ferguson. Second down 20. Dumps it out to Leaks. Ooh, is he hit at the 31. They still can't bring him down, at least to the 34-yard line, although the whistle may have blown it dead. Woodrow Lowe with a textbook tackle.
First down edge in the second half, still very much in favor of the San Diego Chargers. 20-9 for Buffalo. Obviously, the Bills would have liked to pick that one up.
Here's a throw out to Leaks. They sent him in the flat. Watch Woody Lowe get his helmet into the ball carrier.
Leaks is just a powerful back. Tremendous leg power. 3rd and 9. We'll have at least 3 receivers, maybe 4 in the ball game. Just 3.
Butler to the left, Ron Jesse and Frank Lewis to the right.
Now we got 4 wide receivers in there. 1 lined up as a back.
On 3rd and 10, open is Lewis, 40 and out of bounds at the San Diego 36-yard line. Boy, Lewis has 3 catches, all for big money. So the Bills are in San Diego territory, and we're on our way to New York.
Okay, Dick, this is Byron Day in New York. North of you in the King Dome, Dave Craig has just put the Seahawks on top over the Jets, 20-16 with a 1-yard touchdown run. That score is in the 3rd quarter. Dick?
Thank you, Byron. Dave Craig for the injured Jim Zorn, and he has Seattle back in front as they try to knock off the Jets twice this year.
They've gone after Willie Buchanan in this game, and he's managed to knock the ball away a few times, but Buchanan is really a safety playing at cornerback. The Jets, or the Buffalo Bills, know that. They've gone after him several times here, Dick.
Cribbs again, running gingerly, is down at the 34-yard line as Lyndon King makes the tackle. It is now 2nd down and 8. So Frank Lewis, to go back to Lewis, he's caught passes for 21, 16, and 35 yards. So when Lewis has gotten his mitts on the ball, they've been big ones. He's 34 years of age. Merlin indicated 60 catches this year, his best season ever.
65 now.
2nd and 8, a fake to Cribbs. Ferguson searching and getting Lewis again, and a first down at the 13-yard line. Pete Shaw made the tackle, 21 yards this time.
Ferguson limping after that hit, took a shot just as the ball was delivered. Let's see how Frank Lewis is able to get loose here. Takes a low body contact there by Buchanan, leaves Buchanan behind. The ball a little late in arriving, but he has plenty of room. That's Pete Shaw, number 44, over late from his safety position to knock him out of bounds. But that's giving a receiver an awful lot of time to work.
5:35 left in the 3rd quarter. San Diego 24, Buffalo 21, but the Bills have a first down at the 13-yard line. It's Cribbs. And Cribbs is to the 5-yard line. They get the 6 where Lyndon King and Glenn Edwards put the stopper. 7 yards for Cribbs, who played at one time in the same backfield at Auburn with William Andrews and the Chargers, James Brooks. What a NFL backfield that would be.
Great to have all those three guys together anywhere. Cribbs showing the kind of explosive quickness that he demonstrated in his rookie season. And certainly that's the kind of thing that sets him apart as a back, able to explode as he spots the opening, gets them down inside of the 10, close to that 5-yard line. Let's see what they do here, Dick.
2nd and 2.5. Leaks hit in the backfield, but gets away again. He has a first down, but hold on, a flag is down, and Leaks is pulling at his hamstring.
And I think that Cribbs may have just contributed another one of those disastrous penalties. That's the kind of thing that has hit Buffalo all season long. And Leaks is holding up his hand. He may have hurt himself on that play. He's headed off the field. Cribbs being called for a holding penalty. That'll move the ball back 10 yards, be 2nd, 12. And that's, Dick, we talked about Buffalo getting in position to score and losing those opportunities either by costly turnovers or by penalty. And that's exactly what they have set themselves up for here, unless they can bounce back.
Holding, number 20.
Now this third quarter, there have been more yellow flags flying than the seagulls that normally occupy these environs. And for the Bills, now they're at 2nd and 12 and have lost their fullback Leaks.
Left corner of your screen, number 20. You see him right there, just grabbing a handful of jersey and jerking someone to the ground. Not very smart. That's the kind in the open field that are rarely missed.
Crowd chanting defense from the 15-yard line. Good protection. Incomplete. Allen Ellis, number 48, broke it up. Good play by Ellis. Intended for Butler.
Jerry Butler, the man that Ferguson wanted. Ball thrown on target. Had Ellis been a little bit later, would have been a touchdown. Play action pass. Ferguson with time to throw. Watch the deflection right there. One hand bounced away.
Allen Ellis, who played his college ball at UCLA, playing with a broken hand. You saw it heavily wrapped. Also a broken cheek this year. It's not been a very easy season for him, but a big play there. 3rd and 12 from the 15 in a 3-point game late in the third quarter. Out of the shotgun. Complete to Picone, and he is fighting for a first down. He does not get the touchdown, but Picone, who dropped one earlier, did manage to get the ball to the 2-yard line, and that would be enough for a first down. Only his 3rd catch all year.
What a fine way for Picone to come back and bring himself into the picture. Tremendous concentration. Watch the fight for that extra yardage. That's Wyatt Henderson, number 32, is wrestling with him. Woody Lowe, 51, and Picone, who's a tough customer in his own right, simply would not give it up. Good pass, too. Henderson late getting into it, but it's Picone's extra effort. And that fine leg drive, feet moving, that get him the first down.
Look at the shot that Shaw comes up to hit there, and he hangs onto the football. Inside the 2, 1st and goal. It's Cribbs. And the Bills lead for the first time in the game.
Cribbs atoning for that penalty that took him back. And a big play by Lou Picone to help set that up. And the Bills are maybe getting over the problems they've had of getting the football into the end zone.
Well, they survived a very tough 10-yard penalty, and Cribbs gets the score. As you see, he's been in that end zone often this year.
Good block by Curtis Brown on that last play. First down conversions now. Part of Buffalo improving slightly as they're able to convert on 4 of 10, actually 5 of 11.
And the extra point is good. And for the Buffalo Bills, who have trailed or have tied all game, they finally enjoy the lead role. 3 minutes, 37 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And the score, Buffalo 28, San Diego 24. 3.5 minutes remaining, and the Buffalo Bills lead 28-24, 68 yards on that drive. A little over 4 minutes. Cribbs with a capper, but it was Frank Lewis with a couple of key catches on the drive. Mickemeyer sends it toward Brooks at the 5. 15. And spins around. He's got some blockers on this side.
Look out.
25, 30, 35 and out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Cush finally got him out of bounds. A good reverse run by Brooks. 33 yards on the return.
Rod Cush, number 42, an excellent special teamer. One of those guys who will really sell out for you coming down. Responsible for containment on the left-hand side. He's headed back in a safety role until he sees Brooks reverse his field. Fights through one blocker, gets over, and pushes Brooks out of bounds. Brilliant play by Rod Cush.
The toss to Muncy. And he gets outside and picks up yardage to the 44-yard line. A gain of about 6 for Muncy. Steve Freeman, 22, pushed him out of bounds.
Been attacking on the side that's controlled by Isaiah Robertson and Charles Romes. Robertson not getting out as well as he should on a couple of plays there. And certainly defensive coordinator Tom Catlin over there not particularly happy with that. Ralph Hawkins, the defensive backfield coach, he'll be concerned about the force as well.
Fouts to this side to Chandler, and he's tackled immediately by Mario Clark, but not until the Chargers have another first down. Fans thought the hit by Clark was a little unnecessary. Or the throw by Clark would be more accurate, is what they didn't like.
Dick, we were talking about unsung heroes. Certainly defensive backs, with all the pressure they take, we only often hear about them when they've let someone go loose or when they catch the ball, but that's the kind of play they must make week in, week out, play in and play out. Mario Clark doing his job, and fans not really understanding.
Up the middle go the Chargers for short yardage. You saw that statistic. Fouts is now only 6 yards from that 300-yard mark again. 2 minutes and 28 seconds left in the third quarter.
Fouts looking to the sideline to get the play, which is being signaled in by Coach Levy from the sideline.
Fouts last year, when he passed for 4,700 plus yards, a record, completed 348, another record. He has 304 already this year.
That was Dave Levy, you saw, the heavyset coach with the earphones on.
Muncy breaking tackles to the Buffalo 37. That won't be a first down. Finally, a couple of the secondary men, Freeman, along with Romes, Nixon to make the tackle. You see that Muncy, wearing the bandage on his nose, apparently for a broken nose or a bruise. Usually that's a sign that he's had a broken nose, and now has 82 yards as he's broken the 1,000-yard mark. No, he needs four more for 1,000 on the year. Now both Fouts and Muncy right at the doorstep for a milestone. Muncy, first down and more to the 31. And that puts him over the 1,000-yard mark. 2 years ago, he gained nearly 1,200 yards as the Saints' most valuable player.
Great pursuit by Fred Smerlas, but Smerlas late getting there as Muncy just using great power and acceleration. He really is frightening to play against as a defensive player, not only combining strength and coordination, but great speed as well.
That was not a correct note there, 89 yards. He now has that's 89 today, 1,003 for the year. That's Chandler, and that's going to be interference. Yes. They interfered with Chandler, and it appeared to be a good call.
Mario Clark and Freeman both colliding there with Chandler before the ball arrived. The officials very quickly to the pocket for the flag, and that'll move the ball down to the 1-yard line.
Called against, it could have been 29 or 26, Clark or Romes. And Isaiah Robertson's going to pick himself up unsportsmanlike penalty if he isn't pulled away. And 29, Clark continues to argue. It's a 30-yard penalty, first and goal, San Diego at the 2-yard line. You judge.
What a seesaw contest. A quick look at it for yourself. Now watch the contact before the ball arrives. 22, Freeman, the man that they ticketed, and he did collide before the ball arrived with Wes Chandler.
Muncy going for an NFL record. And a flag goes down, as does Muncy at the 3-yard line. Again, in case you joined us late, Chuck Muncy with a rushing touchdown in the first half, now has 19 for the year. to tie Jimmy Taylor and Earl Campbell for the all-time single-season record in the National Football League. So if he gets one here, he'll do it in 12 games. That would match Taylor's season.
Kellen Winslow, number 80, very angry about the call. Let's see if it perhaps was on him.
Holding, number 80. First down.
Boy, there's been a penalty, it seems, every other play.
The offensive line, and that's Dave Levy's bailiwick for the San Diego Chargers. Certainly not able to coordinate themselves very well today.
There's the all-time record holders, and Muncie tied with Taylor and Campbell. Now out of probably a rushing yardage, although sometimes they will rush.
They're not afraid to give him the ball in this kind of situation.
As the Bills are looking pass. And Fouts will accommodate, throwing to Muncie. And they were ready for him. Boy, it's almost as if they know that Fouts is going to get the ball to Muncie. He loses yardage on that play, back to the 15-yard line.
Dick, has Muncie had a passing touchdown all year? I think all of his touchdowns are on the ground.
Muncie has caught 38. That's right. And no touchdowns. That's right. He has not had a touchdown pass receiving, although with his catches today has 40 catches. And that is the end of the third quarter at San Diego. As expected, offensive fireworks from both sides. And as we go to the fourth quarter, 28-24, the Charger boardroom as we go to the fourth quarter with their decision on 2nd and 12 at the Buffalo 15-yard line, trailing the Bills 28-24.
Ernell Durden behind Don Coryell, Marv Braden, the special teams coach, Dave Levy, offensive line coach.
For Severs, they tried to surprise Buffalo to the tight end, although Severs, you know, for a normal rookie, 20 catches at tight end and 2 touchdowns, not a bad year on the San Diego club. Everybody gets something.
Severs, a young man that they are extremely happy with. Great athlete, tremendous attitude. Third quarter statistics. And of course the Bills have come up substantially over what they had at the half, up to 262 yards, 398 yards for the Chargers, and evening out a little bit on time of possession.
Trailing by 4 points, the Chargers. Quickie, and gets very little at the 10-yard line. Dwight Scales' first catch of the day, and that brings on Rolf Benirschke and the field goal team.
Scales, just a quick in pattern. They're counting on him to be able to get that one and then get away from a single defensive back. But an excellent job by Rufus Best, number 28. One-on-one tackling in the open field. Little assist from 45, Billy Simpson, and they'll go for the 3.
6 yards on that pass. The line of scrimmage, the 9-yard line. They'll kick from the 17. 27-yard try for Benirschke to pull San Diego within 1. 28-27. So despite an interference call that gave the Chargers first down at the 2-yard line, a penalty and a loss, they have to settle for the 3. And with 14 minutes left, the Bills lead by 1. Benirschke with his second field goal of the game, both in the second half, 29 and 27 yards, has it teed up. Buffalo still leads it 28-27.
Short again, Dick.
To Curtis Brown at the 16. And he's pushed out of bounds at the 28-yard line as he eluded a hard-flying Charger downfield.
Bob Gregor, that's the man right in the middle of your picture. That's Eddie Abramowski, the trainer, the only trainer the Buffalo Bills have ever had. And he's the kind of guy that works very hard to keep these players in shape. Got an interesting hobby, Dick. He raises pigeons, not just ordinary pigeons, homing pigeons. Got about 150 of them. He races them. Interesting. He was telling me they have 2 kinds of races, sprints and marathons. How far do you think the sprints are?
I don't have any idea.
100 to 300 miles. No, that's a sprint.
For the pigeons. I'm going to ask you about the marathon. You know that. I want to know what a marathon is then. Roland Hooks now in for Joe Cribbs, and you can see the difference in the determination of the 2 runners as Hooks healthier gets 7. Now let's go to Byron Day in New York.
Okay, Dick, thank you very much. In Denver, it looked like the game was going right down to the wire. Steve Fuller rallying his Chiefs, but then Bob Swinson picked off this pass. And Denver looks like they're going to pull the ball game out. 1:45 left in the fourth quarter. Denver still in the lead, 16-13. Dick?
Thank you, Byron. And, of course, San Diego's fans will have an eye on that score, as those two teams in Denver, along with San Diego, tied 8-5 for first place going into this one. Second, along two. Broken play, or did Ferguson decide to do that himself? Whatever, it worked, and he has a first down at the 45-yard line.
Well, if it wasn't a broken play, it certainly was. Certainly looked like one, but Ferguson was very decisive, just swept around the outside. Has done a good job of running with the football. Let's take a look at it from the end zone. It was a broken play. Look for the receiver, but that's, again, good, smart football. Quarterback can't find anybody to hand it off with. Don't hang around. Get out there and get out of bounds.
They mark it at the 44. What is a marathon?
What is a marathon? 300 to 600 miles. Now think about that one.
Well, that is really homing instincts.
Oh, wow.
To finish the race. Leading by one, Buffalo with the ball at the Bill 44. Oh,
flea flicker.
And they're going deep for Butler. He's covered. Well read by Edwards and Shaw, the two safety men. Jets now. Boy, they've been in front, behind. They've been trading the lead, and now the Jets, and that comes with 9 minutes left at the Kingdome. Richard Todd to Kevin Long, a yard touchdown pass, and the Jets lead. And Tampa Bay trying to move into sole possession, first place in the Central, a 1-point lead against Atlanta late.
Buffalo obviously hoping to win today and wanted to see the Jets lose. They have a chance to knock off Miami the last week of the season, and if the Jets were to lose today, it would be back in their hands if they can win in this ball game.
Well, this season, so many teams still so very close to making it to the playoffs. 2nd and 10, deep down the middle for Bramer, and that's going to be interference against the San Diego Chargers. Mark Bramer, the tight end, they've not gone to him all day.
Jim Laslovic, number 54, a linebacker that San Diego sends in often on pass coverage, bumped Bramer, and we've also got a flag apparently upfield.
At the line of scrimmage.
At the line of scrimmage. Let's see what the call is going to be.
Pass interference, number 54, holding, number 69, no play, second down.
Another tough penalty break for Buffalo. That would have been about a 40-yard penalty. Negated, 31-yard penalty, negated by a 10-yard hold.
Conrad Dobler, you saw him tackling Louis Kelcher there. They caught him on that one, and you see the bump. You really don't get a chance to see it from that angle, but the flag was very quick, and it was a bump by Laslovic on Bramer. I would imagine that Conrad Dobler might avoid Ray Prohaska, the offensive line coach, when he goes to the sideline this time.
So that cost the Bills a 31-yard penalty. Play it over. 2nd and 10 again from the 44. 13 minutes left. 1-point Buffalo lead. Way off the mark to Joe Cribbs. The closest player was Glenn Edwards.
Ferguson very upset that Cribbs did not go up after that football.
All right, let's go to Byron Day.
Okay, Dick, you just mentioned the latest score in the Jets-Seahawks game. Here's the play that set it up. Richard Todd passing over the middle. The ball is deflected by the Seahawks. John Harris. Jerome Barkham picks it up, takes it down to the 1. They scored from there. Dick, 23-20 in the fourth. Jets over the Seahawks.
Jets trying to win to make it 9-4-1 and tie Miami. It's Buffalo trying to stay close to those two leaders in the AFC East with a win against San Diego. They lead by 1. This is the 3rd and 10 from the 44. A run to Cribbs and then a reverse. And down goes Byron Franklin, a rookie receiver. The man who made the play was Lyndon King. He wiped out both of them.
I don't think King even saw Franklin coming around. He was diving on top of the first man and just happened to knock the second one down, but who cares? It was a great play.
Let's see it again. There's King on the left of your picture.
Now they're trying to get back around the containment. You see right there, he was just tackling Cribbs, and it was his feet as he swept around on the tackle that knocked down Byron Franklin.
Locator comes in to kick. And from the 23, it's
Short.
high and short.
It won't turn over.
Bounces out of bounds around the 33-yard line. So San Diego has the ball again with 12 minutes and 4 seconds left. And the Chargers trail the Bills by 1.
In a game not for the faint of heart, the Seahawks have regained the lead on this 58-yard touchdown pass from Dave Craig to Steve Largent. Score now in the fourth quarter, 27-23. How about that, Dickenberg?
And back and forth they go again. Seattle has just scored to take the lead against the Jets with 8 minutes left, 27-23. And young Dave Craig, another touchdown pass. He has 2 touchdown passes and a run for the Seattle Seahawks. Quite a story out of Milton College, just a couple hundred students. John Cappelletti. And he's to the 40-yard line, a gain of around 7 before Freeman can make the tackle.
Cappelletti taking advantage of the fact that that entire defense was keying on Muncie, number 46. Muncie swept to the outside, little fake, and they handed it up inside to Cappelletti. That's good, smart play by the San Diego Chargers, who have mixed their plays well in this game. This is the most important series of the game for the Buffalo defense. They need to get San Diego stopped.
Muncie, with 3 yards needed for a first down, is pushed out of bounds around the 45, and that's good enough for a first down. Muncie has gone over the 1,000-yard rushing mark. Mushing. Well, that's a different kind. We're going from pigeons to Yukon racing. As a first down. Fouts needs only 3, Merlin, to get the 300 yards.
Fouts getting closer to that. It would have appeared as he was closing in on the end of the first half that it wouldn't have taken him this long, but Buffalo defense doing a better job here in the second half of slowing down the San Diego offense.
Winslow in motion. Fouts deflected, incomplete. Ever so dangerous, that ball in the air, as Isaiah Robertson coming in to knock the pass away. You saw San Diego winning 4 at home, 4 on the road, but a different story for the Bills, who set a new home record with that 7 victories at Rich Stadium in front of their great fans. They averaged 77,000 a game, but winning only 1 of 5 on the road and leading by 1 today.
Interesting to look at the Buffalo score by period as opposed to San Diego's. Both have been very productive in the second quarter and fourth quarter. Buffalo has anyway. San Diego not very productive in the fourth quarter. That's interesting. 30 points only, Dick.
Fine pass to Joyner and a first down at the 44-yard line of Buffalo. Charlie Joyner and Frank Lewis, the former teammates at Grambling, and they've been the big receivers today. 13 yards on that catch, 91 for the day. San Diego moving toward the Buffalo goal with 11:15 left and trailing 28-27. Tackled immediately, Mario Clark on Wes Chandler, and that Clark, who intercepted one earlier, looked for a moment like he might be in position for another theft.
Those are dangerous passes. Watch the body controls. Chandler goes up to pull that one out of the sky. Again, that's the kind of pass that Fouts is very confident of. It is a dangerous pass, no question about it. But I think Fouts is, if not the most confident quarterback in the league, one of the most confident. He's not afraid to throw the ball anywhere, anytime.
Second down and 7. And it appears that a time has been called by Buffalo. Unusual time for a timeout with 10 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the game. The Bills spend a timeout. The Chargers on the drive trail by 1. The Bills call time to try to get the proper number of players on the field. Finally have the 11. Isaiah Robertson apparently called that time. It's second down and 7. San Diego at the Bills' 40-yard line. 10.5 minutes left. San Diego trailing 28-27. Muncie. They do like to run left with Muncie, and a good tackle by Steve Freeman, who has been a busy man in the secondary. He made the stop after a 1-yard gain.
Stop by number 22, Steve Freeman.
We welcome those of you who have watched the Denver-Kansas City game. And the Broncos able to hold off the Chiefs after jumping in front 16-0. Denver, for the moment, leads in the AFC West with a 9-5 record. Kansas City is 8-6. San Diego, with a win, moves into a tie with Denver. With a loss, it's Denver all alone in the lead. They trail Buffalo 28-27. This is third down and a long 4. And Muncie, the ball carrier, out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Short.
And he's short of the first down. Let's see where they do spot. He's far short of the first down.
They're going to mark it far short. Let's see what Don Coryell is going to do now on fourth down. Will he go for it? Obviously out of field goal range. Would he punt it away, or is he going to go for it? He's keeping the offensive unit on the field.
57-year-old head man in his 4th year with the Chargers. His alma mater, University of Washington, will be in the Rose Bowl, of course, here on NBC January 1st. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 2. Muncie, who is over the 1,000-yard mark on the year and has 98 yards today, is the man the Bills have been keying on. And it's Muncie. Strung out, and he doesn't make it. And look at that Bills sideline.
Tremendous pursuit, inside-out pursuit on Muncie as they keyed him and guessed the play correctly. Coryell upset. So obviously he and his team would love to have converted on that one.
Mario Clark led the defensive charge.
Watch the number of blue jersey defenders out ahead of him. Steve Freeman, 22, Smerlis, number 42, Cush. Tremendous pressure by the defense.
So with 9 minutes and 46 seconds left in the game, the Bills hold on to the lead, 28-27. 9 minutes and 46 seconds left. These two teams who have played closely contested games so many times recently, and there's another Tampa Bay in first place all alone, NFC Central. They won it on a 71-yard touchdown pass. Doug Williams to Kevin House. Curtis Brown, his first carry of the game, and he's to the 41-yard line. Louis Kelcher made the tackle for San Diego. So, in that Central Division, Tampa Bay 8-6 with a win. One game ahead of Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay. They're all 7-7. Green Bay upset Detroit today, and Minnesota was upset by Chicago.
Dan Fouts, tremendous day. 3 receivers approaching the 1,000-yard mark. Winslow now with 957. Joyner with 980. Chandler with combined yardage 982. But it doesn't do any good if they don't win the game, Dick.
That's right. Brown with a toss, and he's across the 45, and at the 46 appears he has a first down. Brown playing for Roosevelt Leaks, who appeared to pull a hamstring in the 3rd quarter. Brown is from the University of Missouri. 188 yards rushing this year after being the #2 rusher last year with 559.
Similar body build to Leaks. We noticed that Leaks was having some leg trouble yesterday in practice. He must have aggravated whatever it was on a run down near the goal line. Had to come out of the ball game.
Difference in the game, 4 touchdowns for Buffalo, 3 touchdowns and a couple of field goals for San Diego. Fake, and Ferguson did not fool the Chargers. John Woodcock. Second sack for San Diego on Ferguson, who had been protected magnificently all year. Only the 12th time he's been down this season.
Conrad Dobler getting in some extra work. Number 69. Now watch him as he steps back outside. He's going to try and get across the legs of number 68, Leroy Jones. Did not get to him. He actually ended up tripping over his own man, and I believe he was responsible for getting out in front of Joe Ferguson on that play.
So second down and long. Got a man, Lewis, and Frank Lewis at the 41, a first down, and he has been amazing. Every catch has been for long distance for Lewis, who is now over 100 yards for the day, and what a deal that was for Buffalo. 200 catches in 4 years since they acquired him from Pittsburgh for Paul Seymour, who never played with the Steelers.
And after a dismal first half, Ferguson has come back, and mostly through his connection with Lewis. fought his way back into this ball game, and right there salvaged a very critical first down. They control the ball, they control the clock, and they're moving down the field.
He's averaged 22 yards a catch today on 5 receptions. Brown. And he drives to about the 38-yard line. Woodcock, number 90, and low 51 made the tackle. The clock running. 7:35 running. For Chuck Knox, his wish would be to have a long ground game, chew up the clock, and get a touchdown, put the Chargers 8 down, and the Chargers well know that. Let's pause briefly for station identification. From San Diego, this is the NBC Television Network.
This is Channel 4, KNBC, Los Angeles.
Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, critical match here in San Diego between the Bills 8-5, the Chargers 8-5, Buffalo in front by 1, and they have possession at the San Diego 38. Curtis Brown inside the 35-yard line. We'd like to welcome those viewers that have joined us. Buffalo and San Diego here at San Diego Stadium. Bills lead 28-27. Our game obviously still in progress with 6:44 left in the game. We invite you to stay with us through the Magic Pyramid. Will be seen immediately following the conclusion of NBC football coverage over most of these stations, except for most Mountain and Pacific time zone stations where it'll be seen at its regular time. Big third down and a long 2. Ferguson going deep for Cribbs, and he turned the wrong way. So Buffalo gambles, did not go for the first down, went for the touchdown.
After 2 relatively conservative calls, they went for the big one. San Diego player on the ground.
Wilbur Young, number 99, the veteran defensive tackle.
Very interesting calls by the Buffalo staff on the sideline. Chuck Knox perhaps will second guess himself. The coach right behind Knox there was Chick Harris, offensive backfield coach. Butler all by himself down there. Alan Ellis a little bit deep behind him, but they did not get the ball to him.
That means San Diego should get the ball when we return. 6:15 remaining. San Diego Stadium, sun setting. The Bills had brought on Mickemeyer.
And they changed their mind.
That would have been a 51-yard field goal. Let's see if they gamble now on 4th down and 2.
They must have been listening to our conversation up here. Mickemeyer's longest field goal is what, Dick?
52, but his longest recently 49, and this year 46.
Not a very practical attempt. It looks like they will indeed go for the first down on 4th and a yard and a half, 2 yards, much as Coryell did a little earlier in the game. San Diego was stopped. Let's see if Buffalo has any more success. And Ferguson having trouble getting the right players on the field. Had 12 out there. No, he needs one more.
He especially needs that one.
Richard, Jim Richard
right
coming
in the middle
up.
of the line.
Got to have him in there. That's a little confusing, though, when you're changing teams right at the last second.
4th down and 2 with Buffalo leading 28-27. Out of the shotgun. Complete to Pacone, and he's to the 24-yard line. That's 3 times in critical 3rd or 4th down situations. Ferguson has gone to little Pacone. He dropped the first one, but has come up with 2 big grabs since to match his season total.
Pacone jumping up and down on the sideline. Has the face of an elf. He's a stand-up comedian and a singer, Dick. Back in the Buffalo area in the off-season. There's nothing funny about this. It's very exciting and happy moments for his teammates and for Lou Pacone as he picks up a very crucial 3rd down or 4th down. Picks the first for them. They still control the football. Clock ticking. They'd love to eat some more of it on this drive.
5.5 minutes left at the 24-yard line. Brown. Not much there. Curtis Brown up the middle. Lou Pacone. Now, you know, there's so many marvelous stories in sport. 5'9", 175 pounds from West Liberty State. Played semi-pro ball with the Youngstown Hard Hats. Continued to learn his football lessons. Of course, he played with special teams man with the Jets, and he performed that role with the Bills. 2 catches all year, and here in maybe the biggest game of the year for the Bills, he gets 2 to match that total and keeps 2 very important drives alive. Both running backs in the pattern, and it's incomplete, intended for Frank Lewis. Broken up nicely by the San Diego Chargers, Willie Buchanan.
Buchanan, victimized a few times earlier in this ball game, has made some big plays, certainly that among the biggest of the day. If we were to look at these 2 teams coming into this game and say which could afford to lose this game and still make the playoffs, Dick, certainly San Diego, because if they tie in their division, they still win. Kansas City obviously losing today. If Denver were to lose another game and then all of them were to win out in the rest of their games, San Diego would end up in a tie and would still go. But obviously it's out of their hands if they lose this game today.
And Buffalo at 8-5 will drop a full game and a half behind Miami and the Jets. To Cribbs, and well covered by Woody Lowe. They put their fastest linebacker on Cribbs, and Lowe can run with those running backs. So it'll be a field goal try by Mickemeyer.
He also had a couple of defensive backs, Pete Shaw and Glenn Edwards, right there with him too.
Somebody else must have been at least on man-to-man coverage. They had 3 on Cribbs out of the backfield. The ball is at the 22, so it'll be spotted near the 30. A 40-yard attempt by Mickemeyer. His first attempt today. Matt Robinson to hold. It is no good. Wide to the left.
Roar of approval from this partisan San Diego crowd. Mickemeyer very unhappy with himself. Watch the way he feels about this hooked kick as it pulls itself off to the left, and he knew it the minute he kicked it.
So that means the Chargers are within a field goal of victory. Timeout. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. The Chargers will have it at the 22. So the Bills with a chance to move 4 up. Missed the 40-yard field goal by Mickemeyer. Their lead 28-27. Plenty of time for the Chargers. 4.5 minutes left. They begin from their 22-yard line. Bouts. Over the middle to Muncy. And he's all the way to the 38-yard line for 16 yards. Clock running, 4:13 left. A first down for San Diego.
Buffalo on that drive, Dick, able to do a lot of what they wanted to do. They wanted to use up the clock, used 5 minutes and 17 seconds, but they could not get the points. Now they've got to put the defense out there, put the burden on their shoulders, and say, shut them down.
Joyner right, Chandler left. Muncy up the middle, 40. 45-yard line for 7 more. We welcome those fans who have watched the action from the Kingdome as the Seattle Seahawks upset the New York Jets for the 2nd time this year. Dave Craig, the unknown from Milton College, storybook stuff. His first start for Jim Zorn, throws 2 touchdown passes and runs for another to upset the Jets, and Miami is all alone, first place in the AFC East. Here, San Diego trying to avoid the upset, and it's Muncy, a first down at the Buffalo 48. Muncy, perhaps out of exhaustion, may be injured. Also is undoubtedly tired. He has been a workhorse.
And he's gone over 100 yards on those last 2 rushes. He is still on the ground. I think he may be hurt.
The clock stopped with 3 minutes and 4 seconds left. What a day today again. Upsets again frequent in the NFL.
Let's see if we can see what happened to Muncy. Starts inside and just with that little glide step breaks outside. Rufus Best, number 28, the man responsible for containment, able to get outside on him. Let's see if he there's a hit right there on his legs. Mario Clark, number 29, banging into his legs. and it appeared that Muncy may have injured his leg a little bit, but he's moving pretty good as he comes back across the field. Man on the left-hand side of your picture, Rick McDonald, the trainer for the San Diego Chargers. Team doctor also out there, and Muncy picks it up and runs off the field. Wow, listen to that.
Muncy, for those of you who have joined us late, scored a rushing touchdown early in the game, his 19th of the year to tie the National Football League record. Now sharing it with Earl Campbell and Jim Taylor, the great Green Bay back. 28-27, the clock running, 2:48 left. Fouts going for it all. Looking for Chandler. And almost intercepted by Charles Romes. He was in position, and Chandler did a good job of knocking it away from the defensive back.
Excellent read by number 26, Charles Romes. Let's watch the way a good defensive back must work against an explosive receiver. A little fake inside, a little zigging up. Romes not fooled at all. He's got interception on his mind. Kind of believe that the officials, if they had really been living up to the letter of the law, might have thrown a flag on Chandler. But that's a tough one to call.
Dan Fouts now is 27 for 41 passing, 328 yards, over the 300-yard mark again. Couple of touchdowns, one interception. That's the only interception of the day. From the 48 of Buffalo, under pressure. Great throw to Joyner. First down at the 34. That's Joyner's 7th catch today.
Very few quarterbacks in the NFL, very few receivers would have been able to complete this pass. Fouts throws to the spot. That ball was in the air before Joyner even made the cut. Fouts under great pressure, had to throw before he wanted to. Was able to get the ball off right into the hands of Charlie Joyner, and what an important first down.
Joyner now needs only 18 more catches. He'll have 500 in his sensational career. He'd become the 10th man to ever do it. Brooks, he hasn't been used much at all, and he doesn't get much to about the 32-yard line. He drew a crowd led by Lucius Sanford, 57, veteran Bill Simpson, 45. Here comes Muncy back into the game.
2 minutes and 12 seconds, 2 minutes and 10, counting down to that 2-minute warning. We may get it before the next play. And what kind of drama are we building here? Buffalo ahead by 1. Ball creeping in on field goal range for Ralph Brunnerska. And there we have it, the 2-minute warning, Dick.
So with 120 seconds left, Dan Fouts and the Chargers, although down by 1, appear to be in the driver's seat. It'll be 2nd and 8 at the 32 of Buffalo. As this game draws to an exciting climax, a reminder, the executive producer of NBC Sports is Don Ohlmeyer. Coordinating producer, NFL Football, Ted Nathanson. Today's telecast produced by Larry Cirillo, directed by Dick Klein. Technical director, Wayne McDonald. Associate director, Jim Marcioni. And all the rest of the great NBC crew here in San Diego bringing you the coverage today. Our thanks also to our spotters, Tim Sexton, Bill Edwards, helping in the booth, Bob Sexton and Paul Green. Dan Fouts, 2nd and 8 at the Buffalo 32. Muncy fumbles, and Buffalo recovers at the 25-yard line. A long-time Muncy nemesis, the fumble, and he's been able to hang on to the football this year. And here in a critical spot, he had moved for big yardage, and Rufus Best picked up the loose ball, and Buffalo, with 1:52 left, will try to run out the clock. It appeared to be Ben Williams who knocked the ball free, and Best recovered.
Almost a stunned silence. Muncy got great blocking up front from Masick, White, from Wilkerson, but he takes a hard blow from Freeman there. Ball pops loose. Best had it on the bounce, and what a tremendous break for the Buffalo Bills. They only have to hang on to that football for 1 minute and 52 now. Muncy coming off very, very slowly. 2 trainers for the Chargers easing him off the field. What a sad way to end up such a tremendous offensive performance as he has had today, Dick. Over 100 yards, tying the all-time NFL scoring record, rushing.
But on the other hand, Merlin, with 1:52 left, and we'll have to check on timeouts remaining. I believe San Diego has 2 left. They still conceivably can get the ball back.
They certainly can, Dick, and that's the pressure now shifting to the defensive unit of the Chargers. Obviously, Chuck Knox, Ray Prohaska getting their heads together on the other sideline. If they have their way, they'll probably run the clock out, run the ball, try and get a first down. I think maybe 1 first down would be all they would need to run the clock out.
And Bills break huddle. Joe Cribbs and Curtis Brown are the running backs behind Joe Ferguson. Frank Lewis in tight, number 82. Cribbs. And Glenn Edwards came up from the safety spot to tackle him at the 25, and immediately a timeout called by San Diego.
Stop by number 51, Woodrow Lowe.
Cribbs, who was out of action for a couple of weeks with a broken ribs. You see the flak jacket underneath. According to Joe Costanza's statistics, 36 yards rushing today.
The San Diego Chargers down now to their last timeout. Chuck Knox pacing nervously, and obviously very important now that you hang on to the football. Jack Pardee, the man just to the right of Don Coryell, and he obviously will be exhorting his troops to try and take that football away, strip it.
Now let's go back to Bryant Gumbel in New York.
All right, Dick, continuing our look at earlier action today, take a look at this one. Dick Vermeil wanted a timeout against the Redskins. His Eagles were leading 13-9. He couldn't get it. Jaworski didn't see it. Jaworski also didn't find his receiver. He also didn't tackle Monty Coleman. Make a long story short, the Redskins beat the Eagles 15-13. And it was a bad day in the Meadowlands for the Rams. Matter of fact, it's been a bad season for the Rams. They lost their 5th straight ball game and lost all hope of making the playoffs. It was 7-7 when Frank Corral punted it away to Leon Bright. Bright brought it back 52 yards. The Giants got a field goal, and they beat the Rams 10-7. Let's go back to Dick and Merlin in San Diego.
All right, Bryant, 28-27, Buffalo in the driver's seat, 2nd down play, and Ferguson going to pass and completes it, and that'll about drive the nail in the defeat for San Diego. The catch made by 84 Buster Barnett of Jackson State. Only his 4th catch all year, so that was indeed the element of surprise.
Buster Barnett taking advantage of a rather shocked secondary. They were expecting run, I think, as we were, expecting Knox and his coaches to go conservative in the final minutes of this game, but that will give them first down and some breathing room. A dejected sideline for the San Diego Chargers, and obviously Chuck Knox very happy, not only with the apparent win here, but with the loss of the New York Jets today to Seattle.
That's right. It would move Buffalo into 2nd place ahead of the Jets, only a half game behind Miami. And, of course, a loss by the Chargers would drop them into 2nd place, tied with Kansas City, 8-6 behind Denver's 9-5. Here are all the scores today, finals. Miami in sole possession of 1st place. San Francisco in a battle of 1st place teams winning. Washington upsetting Philadelphia, 3rd straight loss for the Eagles. Giants hand the Rams another loss, 10-7. Giants are 7-7. St. Louis is 7-7 after their win against New Orleans. 53 seconds, time being used. The Bears knocking Minnesota out of 1st place, 10-9. Green Bay dropping Detroit out of 1st place with a 31-17 victory over the Lions. Dallas wins again. Baltimore losing again, 37-13. Seattle beating the Jets for the 2nd time this year, 27-23 behind the rookie, or not rookie, but the unknown Dave Craig. They know him now. Tampa Bay, a big win over Atlanta, 24-23. I would guess that drops the Falcons out of any wild card berth, while Tampa Bay sole possession 1st place, NFC Central. Denver apparently will be in sole possession of the AFC West with that 16-13 win against Kansas City. And you're right up to date on all the scores. Here Buffalo leading 28-27, needs only to sit on it with 53 seconds left, and San Diego has used all of its timeouts. They're in that protect formation. Clock running now, and San Diego has no way to stop it.
Very frustrated defense for the San Diego Chargers. Missed some opportunities today, played well, Fouts over 300 yards, great performance rushing by Muncy, and yet The Buffalo Bills have done what they had to do today, which is to win this football game. Now they can control this season. They couldn't control what happened to the Jets. The Jets have managed to lose their last game of the season against the Miami Dolphins. And if both Miami and Buffalo win next week, it'll all come down to that final showdown on the final Sunday of the season.
Buffalo will be at New England next week and finish the year at Miami's Orange Bowl. Down to 8 seconds, and a flag goes down that'll stop the clock, but purely academic, as Chuck Knox is saying, hey, Isaiah Robertson, don't you dare get out into anything now. We've got a 28-27 win.
You certainly don't want to lose your cool at this point in the game. Another good thing about the game for the Buffalo Bills, actually for both teams, we have not seen serious injuries on either side.
Number 44 disqualified.
Pete Shaw has been eliminated from the game. In turn, San Diego now, while they're not out of the playoff picture, their chances become certainly cloudy as they drop a game back of the Denver Broncos, and they must win the last two to entertain hopes.
Well, certainly they have to hope now that the Broncos will drop one. And as we said earlier, if they win their last two games and the Broncos lose one of their games, San Diego still could win because of a head-to-head situation in the division. Not a head-to-head confrontation, but a lead in divisional wins against the Denver Broncos.
And Pittsburgh playing tomorrow night at Oakland after Cincinnati lost today. The Steelers, with a victory at Oakland, would be 9-5, only a game back. So it remains quite complicated.
It sure does.
And the Jets at Cleveland, that'll be our game next Saturday starting at noon. Remember, a Saturday game. Jets will be at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. We'll be looking forward to bringing you that action.
Now, that's your game, Bill.
I might be making a long-distance phone call or two. So the Bills are able to congratulate. It's just a matter of taking a snap from center. A frustrated, disheartened team last year in the playoffs, losing in the last 2 minutes when Fouts hit Ron Smith with a long touchdown strike to bring the Chargers from behind to victory, eliminating the Bills. They've come back to the same stadium less than a year later and win a very important game, 28-27.
Certainly our congratulations to Chuck Knox and to his staff and this team that has finally appeared to be getting things together at the time when you have to be playing your best football. And Chuck, who coached me in LA many years, said often, the time to play your best football is at the end of the season when you want to get into the playoffs and you need to have everything going your way.
There it is, the final touch of the quarterback, the final seconds. The Buffalo Bills, an up-and-down team. They had not won 2 in a row all year until today. That's their 3rd straight win as they put it together down the stretch. They'll go back home to Buffalo 9-5 and only a half game behind Miami in the AFC East. Meanwhile, the Chargers drop a game off the pace behind the Denver Broncos. It's a final 28-27.